into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, a very good morning to you. It is Monday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. In fact, it's Monday everywhere where you're tuning in right now. Very good morning to you.
I love it when people do that. They're like, welcome to the show. It's Monday on this show.
It's Monday everywhere.
It is indeed.
Wondering.
My name is Carl Wasted. It is so nice to have you along for the ride this morning. We're taking you through to 9 a.m. and I can tell you it's going to be the most amazing journey of your life. The only thing is that we have to reflect. I know that this one is a workaholic. She works a lot.
Workaholic, but you are a workaholic too. So this morning we are looking at how many hours do you think you work a week?
Yeah.
I think I work about 18 hours a day.
That's correct. I also feel like I feel like I sleep for like 2 hours. Anyway, but it's important for us to assess that and making sure that we need to focus. I mean, did you know that working more than 55 hours is actually detrimental to your health? I didn't know that. It's good to know.
And this morning we are putting a spotlight on how many hours you're working in a week and how we can really, ensure that we are still getting a balanced life and also getting that whole difference between work and play and being at home and really just helping you to stay healthy. But we will be with you for the next 3 hours of your day.
Yes, exactly. So yes, 52 to go. Anyway, what I will say is that there's a guy that knows all about balance. I mean, if you're going to work 55 hours, the least you can do is climb 55 kilometers of mountain. And that's what we have, Ryle.
I'm sorry, but guys, I just got to laugh because 55 hours a week and I'm looking at the two of you thinking, you work every hour of your day. You don't even know what rest is, but I'm asking you guys on social media, apart from working so hard in the week, we're trying to find out how you actually escape the chaos. How do you get away from and unwind, get away from the hustle and bustle of work? And of course, for me, I think it's pretty easy to see. If you look at my Instagram, you look at my lifestyle, I always take that opportunity. And I say this to everybody out there, and this is quite a cool task for you at home. Why don't you try the following? All those crazy, big, difficult moments you have in your life, those big choices that you need to make right now, why not try escape the chaos you're living in right now? Go out into the mountain, out into the ocean, a place where it's void of all the distraction, and ask yourself that question again. And I promise you, in the clarity of the beauty that you're surrounded by, you will definitely receive such a clear answer. Now, that answer is one that we're going to be providing you for the rest of the day too. It's Monday, we're celebrating, but before we do, let's find out what's happening first up with the news.
Thank you, Ral. I'll start with national headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that South Africa's COVID-19 restrictions will be strengthened as the country moves to an adjusted level 2 lockdown from today. In a national address last night, the president said that South Africa is moving into a third wave of COVID-19 infections. After several months of low transmissions, the country has seen an average of 3,745 daily new infections over the last week. Ramaphosa said that an increase in gatherings was directly responsible for the increased transmission, with funerals and school sporting events highlighted as particularly problematic. And the restrictions which will be introduced under the adjusted level 2 lockdown include an evening curfew between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. Non-essential establishments such as restaurants and bars must close at 10 p.m. to allow staff to travel before curfew, and all gatherings are limited to 100 people indoors and 250 people outdoors. Where a venue is too small to accommodate those people, then no more than 50% of the venue capacity can be used, and funerals remain restricted to 100 people after funeral gatherings remain prohibited. And moving to news abroad, President Emmanuel Macron has warned that France would withdraw its troops from Mali if political instability there leads to greater Islamist radication. France could not support countries where there was no democratic legitimacy or transition. This follows a second coup in 9 months in Mali. Coup leader Colonel Assimi Goïta was named transitional president by the Constitutional Court on Friday after declaring himself the interim leader. French troops have been supporting forces in Mali, Mauritania, Niger, as well as Burkina Faso and Chad against militants in the Sahel region since 2013. And at least 25 people have died and several others were admitted to hospital after drinking poisonous alcohol in the north of India. The alcohol was purchased illegally from a store ran by two brothers. This as liquor stores had been closed due to the coronavirus lockdown imposed to tackle a devastating wave in which some 160,000 people have already died nationwide since April. Hundreds of people die each year in India from cheap alcohol made in backstreet distilleries at a price affordable even for the poorest. And now for some news of a marriage that was kept very, very secret. Britain this past weekend saw another royal wedding. Well, not exactly, but it was the UK's Prime Minister, 56-year-old Boris Johnson, who very secretly married his 33-year-old fiancée, Sherry Simons, at Westminster Cathedral in London. Only 30 guests and their one-year-old son were in attendance. The marriage was so secret, some top aides only found out about it afterwards. A staff member confirmed the event, saying, and I quote, "Yes, it was the Prime Minister. His bride looked beautiful. She had a long dress with no veil." The staff member said Johnson looked really smart in a very dapper suit, and when Simons came down the aisle, Johnson didn't take his eyes off her. The staff members said they read their vows and then shared a kiss, adding, and I quote, "They looked besotted." Johnson is twice divorced and has 4 children with ex-wife Maria Wheeler, and is also reported to have 2 other children he fathered outside of his marriage. Johnson is the first British PM to marry while in office in almost 200 years. Lord Liverpool was the last to do so when he married Mary Chester in 1822. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines for now. Another update coming your way at 7 o'clock.
Insurance specifically designed for fearless women.
Let's take a first look at some of your sporting action over the past weekend. And we start off with the 4th round of the Women's Premier Division belonging to the Blue Bulls women, Border Ladies and Western Province, who recorded wins in the competition. The Bulls moved up from 6th to 3rd place after an emphatic 43-17 win over the EP Queens at Port Elizabeth. Defending champions Western Province claimed a 10-0 victory over the Sharks women, and Border Ladies, they beat Boland Dames 35-14. Border Ladies and VP remain unbeaten in the competition. Now, staying with rugby, the Toyota Invitational team recorded a memorable 43-35 victory over the Cheetahs in an entertaining exhibition match in Bloemfontein on Saturday. The Invitational side was coached by 2 former Springbok players. We're talking Ricardo Loupsha and Dan Himan. The team that was made up of players from the Stormers, Sharks, Lions, Bulls and Eastern Province scored 6 tries, 5 conversions and a penalty goal to the Cheetahs' 5 converted tries. The University of Pretoria, meanwhile, recorded a 44-35 victory over the defending champion Stellenbosch University to reach the Varsity Cup final. UP Tuks will face the University of Cape Town's Ikes, who outplayed Northwest University's Eagles 54-36 on Friday. The Varsity Cup final between the table-topping UCT Ikes and NWU Eagles will take place at 7 p.m. that is this evening. On to football, Premier Soccer League action continued this weekend with newly crowned champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Swallows FC playing out to a goalless draw at the Dobsonville Stadium on Saturday. Yesterday, TS Galaxy claimed a hard-fought 1-0 win over Orlando Pirates at the Bombela Stadium. Following the loss, the Buccaneers remained 4th on the log, with Galaxy in 8th and Swallows remaining in 5th place. Now, staying with football, the big match of the weekend, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea beat Pep Guardiola's Manchester City 1-0 at the Stadio do Dragão in Porto to win the UEFA Champions League for the 2nd time. It was the Blues' most expensive signing, Kai Havertz, who scored the winner in the 42nd minute of the match. Chelsea last won the Champions League back in 2012. And well done to them. We'll take a closer look at your sporting action with the coach a little later. For now, let's take a first look at your sunrise photos as well as your weather. Here's Zoe.
Thank you, Wasty, and thank you to all of our viewers that have taken the time to share their sunrise views with us. This morning, we want to kick off with some stunning submissions. Daniel Mogale shared this beautiful view of the sun behind the clouds, casting its rays across the early morning sky. And then Geraldine Flatwell from Fishhook shared this image from last week as the sun was rising over the ocean. Cape Town can expect occasional rain and drizzles throughout the day with a maximum of only 17 degrees Celsius. Celsius. And we are definitely so fortunate to experience such breathtaking sunrises here in South Africa, and we just love seeing the photos that you capture. So please do continue to share those with us. You can do so on the Expresso Facebook page, as we love seeing how you start your day. And while we love seeing the various parts of South Africa, we also enjoy exploring and learning about the different cultures and countries internationally. So this morning, if we have any viewers tuned in from the country of Turkey, this one is just for you. We journey to the city of Istanbul, the country's largest city, as well as its economic, cultural and historic center. A fun fact about the city is that it's not only the most populous city in Turkey, but for the whole of Europe, with a population of over 15 million residents. Istanbul's weather is strongly influenced by the Sea of Marmara to the south and the Black Sea to the north. The moderate temperatures swings and produces a mild year-round climate with little seasonal temperature variation. Today, the city has a mostly cloudy day ahead, with a stray shower forecasted for this afternoon, and a maximum of only 19 degrees Celsius can be expected. And now some news. A serious threat is lurking beneath a lake near the city of Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Scientists say underground magma has been flowing towards Lake Kivu since the deadly eruption of the nearby Mount Nyiragongo volcano last week. An eruption from under the lake could trigger the release of a lethal, suffocating cloud of gas. Known as a limnic eruption, this event poses a rare but potentially catastrophic risk to Goma's residents. Fearing this and other possible volcanic activity, tens of thousands of people have been told to evacuate Goma, leaving the city eerily deserted. The area was also hit by 61 earthquakes within a 24-hour period on Saturday. The Goma Volcano Observatory said the volcano's crater is continuing to collapse, which contributed to the earthquakes and caused massive ash emissions. Since last Saturday's explosion, which killed at least 31 people, safety concerns have been growing among local communities as officials are warning of a second potential eruption. We'll certainly keep you updated with regards to news in the DRC. For now, let's look at your temperatures in South Africa. If you're in Polokwane, a partly cloudy day with a low of 18 and a high of 17 can be expected. Mbombela 11 reaching a high of 19. Pretoria 8, 19, partly cloudy in Johannesburg today with a high of 17. Mahikeng 1, 23, Klerksdorp 3 reaching a high of 22. Sunny in Kimberley, 2 is your low, 18 your high. Bloemfontein a cool start of -1 with a high of 16 for today. Partly cloudy in Richards Bay, 15 reaching a high of 21. Pietermaritzburg 9 reaching a high of 20. Some rain can be expected in Durban today with a high of 22. Mthatha 4 reaching a high of 17. If you're in East London, 12 is your low, 21 your high. Cradock expect a low of 2 and a high of 16. Gqeberha 11 reaching a high of 19. Partly cloudy conditions in George today, 10 is your low, 17 your high. Rainy conditions for Cape Town with a high of 17. Worcester 4 with a high of 16. If you're in Sutherland, brace yourself for a cold day. A low of 2, a high of 9 degrees Celsius, and sunny in Uppington, but cool with a low of 3 and a high of 19 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. Another update coming your way shortly after 7.
Thank you, Zoe. Now, of course, the winter chill is here, so I'm going to get my cuppa ready. But, of course, it's Gospel Monday, too, and that's why Zoe and I have got it all white on. But before we even get into that, we've got something special coming for you right after this, because we're chatting all about the sport and the magic that happened this weekend. And Coach Cook is in town to tell us more about that. And right after this, too, we've got Tabiso out in Gqeberha looking at some of the new talent in tennis. And we're going to want to check that out, so stick around and don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3. My name's Carl, and you know what? It's been a weekend, right? When it comes to sport, it's been fantastic. I mean, Western Province and Border Ladies, they continued their incredible form in the Women's Premier Division with fourth-round wins. Tuks and Ikeys booked their spot in the Varsity Cup final, and the Cheetahs went down to an invitational team. And the Reds claimed the first win for Australia in the Super Rugby Trans-Tasman. Our favourite rugby coach and video creator, Kutle Sotkosi, joins us via video call for a weekend sports review. Kutle, goeiemorgen, good morning. I see you wearing your TV shirt.
How's it? Morning, Carl. Yeah, obviously, this is my specific TV shirt. It's 2 sizes too small, so to get the biceps going. But so yeah,
I can completely tell. Honestly, I feel like the on your arms over there, it was tighter than some of the results this past weekend. But we'll move on swiftly. Let's start off with the Women's Premier Division. I mean, what quality is coming out of there? And I look at some of these teams, and I'm thinking this is just, it is phenomenal. It is really great when it comes to the development of rugby and also the equality in terms of broadcasting rights, etc. That I'm hopefully that we're actually going to move forward to. So let's start off. Western Province at it again. I want to start with that match. 10-0, they beat the Sharks women. There's got to be something in the water when it comes to Western Province and those ladies. They are phenomenal. They are accurate. Their tactical skill is second to none at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. But like, first of all, like you said, it's so great to have women's rugby on TV.
Yeah.
Where we were able to watch it and it's been broadcasted. And it's also great to have a Premier Division, almost our own, the women's version of the Currie Cup. So they get this, they get on TV time, they get games in, and this Western Province side is, they're dominant. I mean, they've been great the last 4 rounds, and it's never easy being the Sharks, and for them to do it. I mean, 10-0 doesn't actually describe the game. I thought it was a lot more. I thought it was a lot more one-sided than that. But listen, the Province side is looking very, very dangerous.
Absolutely, and an equally as dangerous side. I mean, if you look at the Border Ladies, 35-14 over Boland Damas, another team to look out for. I feel like they are converging slowly but surely to a collision course between those two sections, both sort of southern teams in South Africa. Border Ladies, what do you think about their performance over the Boland Damas?
I mean, they are holding the border region very high. Obviously, listen, we know what tough times has been in border rugby, so it's great there's a shining light, which is the ladies, you know. I mean, they're basically carrying border rugby at the moment and showing them that there is talent in border, whether it's men's or especially in the women's side. So, like you said, we all want to see the border ladies play against Western Province. I think that's the game you want to see. That's the collision course. Hopefully it'll be in a final, and then we'll see who is arguably the best side in the country, because those two have definitely been a standout so far.
I'm going to say Western Province because I'm unbiased. Just saying that. I think they'll... But of course, and also Blue Bulls ladies finally getting a result of their 43-17 against EP Queens. I want to move on very swiftly to Varsity Cup. We have a final on our hands. I feel like it is a final that we saw coming on one side, the other side maybe not so much. But just let's take a look at some of the results over there. Marty's 35-44, UP Tuks on top of things once again, and then the Ikeys over the NW Eagles 54-36. Now, once again, we have a side from sort of the region, the lower region of South Africa, doing the business. Ikeys, they have been a force to be reckoned with. You know, you take a look at some of those players there, and you could almost say automatic signings when it comes to the Springbok team. And I mean, these guys are the grassroots level. And if this is what rugby looks like at this stage of the game, I'm very, very confident that we are building toward what Rassie Erasmus always dreamed of, is this rugby sort of factory where we're just developing these players. So let's take a look. Ikeys up against NW Eagles. Taking a look at that matchup. What were your thoughts?
Listen, first of all, it's kind enough for Marty's to finally allow someone else to win the Varsity Cup. I mean, they've won it for the last 4 or 5 years in a row. So there's kind of them for other people winning for a change. And listen, this Ike side have been dominant the whole season, still unbeaten, playing really, really good rugby. I think that's what I love. That's why Ikeys are everyone's second team, because you know that one, they always play good rugby, and they're always good to watch. And it's great this year they've got a good pack, which is added a bit of structure to them. So now they've got a good pack, and obviously they still throw the ball around. So yeah, it's a great win for them.
I mean, the scene is set for the final now. And I mean, what are your thoughts there? I'm not going to push you for a prediction. I'm just going to ask you who's going to win.
I have to go Ikeys. I think they've won. They've been unbeaten so far. Hopefully, they're not going to be those sides that win every game but lose the final. So I'm backing them to win it. But I won right off Tux. They beat Marty. So beating Marty's in the playoff game automatically guarantees you 10 points in the final. So so they'll be leading that as the game starts. So yeah. So my head and my heart leads towards Ikeys.
I feel like that's a good bet as well, and I'm going to say that once again, unbiased. Not that I went to UCT. Anyway, right, so there were a couple of results as well. There was the Cheetahs 43 over the Invitational Team 35. You've got Super Rugby, Trans-Tasman, some great results over there. I'd love to touch on all of those, but I think our next section is quite important because we'll be chatting about a huge match over this past weekend, the UEFA Champions League final. So, Coach, make sure that you're keeping warm and, of course, that the tightness of those biceps are still intact as we get onto some of the UEFA Champions League action that happened this past weekend in our next chat as we review some sport over the weekend. Coach, we'll catch you later. For now, 2 fantastic visions in white.
We just need wings, don't you think? We need angel
like a dove.
wings.
Angel.
Doves, yes. Well, listen,
I love it.
I love how we can talk sport all day, every day on this show. And when it comes to looking for sports stars, we are always looking for the next big thing. I think there's this perception that big stars only come from fancy schools, but that's
So
not the
true,
case.
but this case things are different because we're going all the way to Berga and Tabiso's there to look at a tennis enthusiast who's looking at cultivating some gems from the town of Zwede. Let's check it out.
Born equal, but we're not all born with equal opportunities, and that's what the Mtsaleni Junior Tennis Club is trying to change by introducing the beautiful game of tennis to kids from non-fee paying schools. I'm here to meet with the leaders and see the kids in action. Come. Mbulelo.
Hey, Tabiso.
How are you doing?
Hey,
You good?
good.
Hey,
Oh,
my
good.
brother. Well, let's talk about this great work you're doing here. Mbulelo, where did the idea come from to start the Mtsaleni Junior Tennis Club?
I come from the township. I grew up in the township, all right? But I'm no longer staying in the township. I must do something because you find these kids on the streets. I went to the schools, primary schools, all right, where I come from. I approached the headmaster. We sit down with the parents. They agreed, they trusted me, all right? We started tennis.
And why specifically this beautiful game of tennis and not any other sport?
I'm a sport-loving person. I believe in balance of sport. When it comes to kids, you must broaden their way of thinking about sport, okay? You must bring sport to the kids, irrespective of sporting codes. This one, tennis, I like it too much because when it comes to tennis, kids, they learn language, all right? It sharpens their mind to think very quick. It works with their physical fitness.
I started playing tennis 2018. Yeah, and my dream is to become a professional tennis player. I was scouted from a school at the townships, and I'm captain of the Mtsaleni Tennis Club. Coach Mbulelo is one of the best coaches I know, and I kind of correspond with him.
Gavin, you're the director of the Mtsaleni Junior Tennis Club, and you do such great work. What are your specific focus areas? What does a typical session look like here?
So typically we have a number of different sessions with the kids because the kids come from the township. Mbulelo takes the kids often in the week, sort of on a Tuesday or Thursday when he's not working, because this man works full-time and he does this. And most recently we have a lot of privileged kids that join us, which are great because the kids are generally quite strong and they bring good, strong tennis to our kids and they help them uplift their game, and they're also making new friends.
I started playing tennis in 2018. My name is Jack Mowbray. I'm in grade 6. I go to St. George's Preparatory School, and my dream is to become a professional tennis player. I really love that I get the opportunity to play with the Mtsaleni Tennis Club because the people here are very nice, and I love playing tennis very, very much.
The thing about the work you do is it takes a lot of passion, and I mean, you're a very passionate man. Where does it all come from, this fire?
It's not easy, I have to say, and Mbulelo is he's a very hard driver, and I think there's very few people that can keep up with him. These are like his kids, and I think He came off the street, and it's his way of giving back to these kids.
You do such a great job doing that. I know that you have your eyes set on seeing these kids move from junior level to hopefully one day senior level, but
Yes.
it must take a level of support. What can people do to help you with that dream?
So our biggest challenge is funding. You know, we're an NPC, and we've got about 35 kids in the club at the moment, and of those 35 we've got 12 that are tournament playing kids registered with Tennis South Africa. We're trying to increase that number at the moment, but it's really all about funding. The facilities in Zweden are in a very bad state, and it's actually easier to get the kids away from there and bring them to a club like Wembley. Also, Wembley's been very good to them. We've been running programs since probably 2016, 2017. We struggled, but we've got a good formula now with Mbulelo. And I'm very passionate about it, and it's very hard not to be, because these kids are great.
The members of Wembley Tennis Club, they give us these tennis courts for free. Members of this club, they do donation for transport to bring these kids from the township to come here. That's not only that, they give clothes to these kids, tennis clothes, shoes, all right?
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for members of this tennis club, Wembley Tennis Club.
You're a man on a mission, and I'm sure you've got big plans for the Mtsalane Junior Tennis Club. What are your hopes for the future of the tennis club?
Number one is to improve their education. Schooling is very important, all right? Secondly is to establish and build tennis in the disadvantaged areas. I mean the schools. Public schooling in the township, they must play tennis. And I want these kids to grow up playing tennis. Tennis must open up doors for them. They must be able to go to tertiary education. They must be able to get scholarships to go to America.
Well, Mbulelo, I'll tell you one thing, the future is looking bright with these kids.
Thanks very much, Tabiso.
Who knows, maybe one day we'll get to see some of these young people on a Wimbledon court. Yes!
How amazing. How's your hand-eye coordination?
It's okay. It's not as good as these kids, though. But I think it's so awesome to know that not only do we have superstars right now in sport, but the future's looking pretty good, too. And seeing the community get involved, I can't be grateful enough for that.
I know. And speaking of the community, coming up, we're going to be talking to the man behind Run for Shoes, a great initiative to help kids in schools get some school shoes. That and a whole lot more coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome back. It's Expresso, your feel-good breakfast show on S3. And what makes it a feel-good breakfast show is when we bring you these feel-good stories. Now, in high-risk areas, a sad reality is that many parents cannot afford to buy their children school shoes, and many more families have been hard hit by the pandemic, as they've also lost their jobs and businesses, making the task of providing even more insurmountable.
So in 2019, let me tell you a story about a guy called Frank Steyn, started the Run for Shoes campaign. And I can tell you, he raised over 66,000 Rand, was able to buy over 1,000 pairs of premier school shoes for kids in Mitchell's Plain. Now in 2020, Frank raised about 50,000 Rand for food parcels. And he's got more campaigns and adventures planned for 2021, which he'll be here sharing with us. And I can tell you, what a superhero you are, Frank Steyn. Welcome.
Thank you, Carl.
Sure. I just saw the numbers there, 66,000, 50,000.
1,000 pairs of shoes.
I know, it's crazy.
It is incredible, but I know you're working on quite a few projects. So let's start off with Running for Shoes, your Run for Shoes campaign. I think it's unbelievable. I think for someone like myself, you don't always think school shoes is... In my mind, I think every kid has school shoes and a bag and they go off to school, but that's not the case in many schools, and in particular Mitchell's Plain, where you donated 1,000 shoes. Tell me a little bit about where you realized the need to provide shoes for the kids.
Yeah, so Zoe, one day, so we have an after-school program at these 4 schools that we work with. And then what happened was there was a group of boys that was playing, and they wanted a soccer ball, and they ran up to me and they said, Coach Frank, do you have a ball? So I'm like, boys, you know what the rules are? First go home, change, and then come back. And then one of the smallest boys in the group said, like, he doesn't have shoes or school shoes. And then I looked at him, but he was so confident by saying it. And, you know, he took his shoes and he did this, it's already broken.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, yeah, you know, like he was so brave. And then I drove home after work, and then I thought, like, the 2 Oceans is coming up. How can I raise funds or make it happen that, you know, children can get a good pair of school shoes? And then I just put a post on Facebook, and then it went crazy, and everybody was like, how are you going to do it? And I'm saying, I'm going to do the 2 Oceans in school shoes. And I ran all 56 kilometers on school shoes.
Did you have blisters?
I had blisters. I lost toenails. And what happened was, I just like, and then I left for the Netherlands. And then I shared my story in the Netherlands to the people there. And then they realized, like, is this guy crazy? Is he really going to run that far? And then I came home, and then I raised money. And then I didn't know that was going to be that big. And then my school came on board, and they doubled that amount that I raised. And then, yeah, I could buy 1,000 pairs of school shoes.
Goodness. Yeah, that's actually a book, eh? Or a series, you know, the guy who bought 1,000 pairs of school shoes. I mean, it should actually be. But now, the Dutch organization that you approached, you're now operational in 4 schools. Tell me a bit more about what that organization is trying to do now. Okay, so what we do is we have in-school physical education. Yeah. We cover the physical education part of the WCD or the DBE life skills part. And then we have after-school program as well. So in our after-school program, we have music programs, dance programs, and then like just creative arts, and then, you know, kids just come after school and they play games like free play. That's great.
That is incredible. That is incredible. And I know that in 2020, just last year, you also raised 50,000 Rand for food parcels. How many families were you able to help with that?
So with the food parcels initiative, what happened was I then also ran a 56 kilometer on that, also on school shoes again, because what happened was 2 Oceans was cancelled due to the pandemic. Then what happened was we raised funds. So myself and someone in the Netherlands, Leslie Pagaman, and he ran a 56, and then we combined. So what happened was we could then feed almost more than 1,000, almost 2,000 families for almost 3-4 weeks. So what happened was the parcel that was given to the families could sustain them for almost 4 weeks.
Incredible stuff. And you know what? It's not only school shoes, okay? So, I mean, I do my research, so I Googled you, and I found out that you also could donate 2,000 sanitary towels as well with regard to a couple of prayer runs that you did. Clearly, you're a person who is driven to run as many of these, excuse the pun, run as many of these operations as possible to ensure that people are alleviated from whatever poverty situation they find themselves in. If there's somebody watching right now, a big business that looks at you and says, I like this guy.
Yeah.
How do we get involved? How do we help you make a bigger difference in your community and beyond?
Yeah, so what they can get my contact, it's fstein87@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And then also they can WhatsApp me on 081 4957
Wow.
There we go. Well, Frank, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing all the amazing projects that you're doing. So make sure you reach out to Frank at fstein87@gmail.com. And please, let's support as many of your runs so that you can buy more school shoes for the kids, which is an amazing initiative. Run for Schools, a beautiful initiative that we've just heard about now on your Feel Good Breakfast show.
Clover cheese is for those who love life, where everything falls into place and melts away our cares, adding joy and stretching our imagination. Clover, for the love of cheese.
Made with love by Clover.
Oh, we're going to Mexico, and we're going to give you a meat-free Monday alternative just to please all of our vegans, all our meat-free enthusiasts out there. And our clover cheese and bean quesadilla make for the ultimate lip-smacking comfort food. And here to show us just how easy it is to put it together is Jenny Morris in the building.
Sweetheart, I would like to see with that big sombrero on saying, handle.
Ah, viva.
Viva indeed. This is delicious and it's easy. And you know what, you don't have to be vegetarian to enjoy a meal like this. And what we do need to do, though, is just get the olive oil in the pan and start sweating our onions down, lovely sweet red onions.
Oh, nice.
We've got some garlic, antibacterial, antibiotic, very good for immune boost.
Oh, yes. Coming up as well, too. And, of course, I'm seeing the fact that there's a lot of colors in this
beautiful
already, which I love. I love
so
the rainbow.
Mexican, am I right?
It's like siesta, fiesta feels. They always we want to party.
Oh, and we are going to party, trust me. Some garlic, I'm going to put it in there, and you're going to smell that beautiful sweet fragrance of the garlic coming off of the oil. And you want to just sweat this down slowly, and the spices.
This is where it's the real deal or not. I think when it comes to Mexican food, you've got to get your spices right. What are you putting in here to get that authentic Mexican flavor?
Okay, so what we're doing, darling, is we've got some cumin and we've got some paprika, and I'm just mixing it into that oil. You want to release
paprika, okay.
Delicious.
All right.
And we want to just release those flavors. So you want to just fry your spices up just a little bit. How hot do you like it, darling?
All the way.
Really? Like,
yes, please.
Serious? Take the enamel off your teeth. Oh, hello, baby. Upside down in the shower. Because I put this all in.
Okay, can we be a little bit mild? I want to share with the rest of the studio as well, maybe.
He's just a big deal. Look, can you smell?
I can smell.
Okay.
I'm loving the caramelization of what looks like a fusion of flavor already, and you haven't even put off the ingredients in.
No, and the minute that comes off, it's going to be... And we put this in first because the tomato is going to also give it that lovely vibrant...
What is that exactly?
This is tomato paste.
Oh, okay.
It's going to give flavor. It's going to give beautiful vibrancy. I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of olive oil because I can. And it's just so delicious. And I'm going to add the peppers, and while that's just cooking down a little bit, we're going to go here, and I'm going to... Oh my goodness, you're wearing white.
I know, this is like a challenge accepted already. I back myself, though. I back myself. Let's do this. What do you want me to do?
What I want you to do is just take your tortilla.
Tortilla, all right. I got my tortilla in front of me.
And you're going to take the filling. Maybe I'm going to... My hands are clean. You're going to spread...
All right.
I'll just
I can
plop
spread it for you easily.
Whatever you... Oh, no, hold on, darling. You can't. Go away. Go away.
Okay.
We've got two. Take the one from the bottom.
Okay, got that.
You're going to spread this beautifully. Mama will take that, and my hands are sterilized, as yours are.
Of course they are.
You look very clinical.
Right, so I'm spreading this out, right?
Spread it over beautifully.
And this is obviously the mix that you've already got in the pan.
That I've got in the pan,
Yeah,
yes.
nice.
And then I want you to take this beautiful coriander.
All right.
And take all of it. Take all of it.
All of it?
Yes, darling. All
Not
of
playing
me.
games out here. Sprinkling it on top, right? Spreading that out too.
Spread it out. And then the cheese. Don't be shy.
All right. I must just say the cheese is a real winner for me. Now, this is something I didn't even know. Only after playing with it did I realize how cool these tassels are. They melt so perfectly in these meals.
It's a beautiful cooking cheese.
Yeah, as a cooking cheese, to get the flavor to kind of combine with the cheese and that perfect melt.
Divine.
I think in a quesadilla.
Yes, and you know what? And you know what? The melt is the important thing. You hit the nail on the head because that's the glue that holds it together and the flavor.
And how cool is it when you have like, let's say you're lucky enough to have a date with you and you've prepared a quesadilla and you bite into it.
Did you say kiss?
Quesadilla. And you bite into it, and as you have that romantic moment, that cheese just kind of melts as it comes out of your mouth.
No,
and then you know what I mean? Come on.
That's not romantic. He said, kiss, dear. You're calling me, I know you're calling me a Godzilla.
No,
Sure,
never.
you're not playing with me.
Never. All right, I'm just adding extra cheese because I learned from you, and we can.
We
so
can,
we shall.
and we shall, and we will. And so we're going to just press it down nicely. Just make sure it's all beautifully glued up. And then literally just pop it into the pan to toast it, and it'll give you that lovely exterior.
So you don't need like a quesadilla maker or a sandwich maker.
No, you just need a good
use a hot pan.
Absolutely.
I like
and
that
in
little hack.
fact, as one does, I've already made one for you.
Yes.
So you need to follow your mama to the food.
All right, take me there, take me there. Let's go.
But
All
we
right.
have to just keep watching this, that it doesn't burn, okay? So here's your
you
knife and
prepared
fork.
something earlier already for
Yes.
us. I cannot wait to tuck into this. How do we do the perfect serve here, Jenny?
Well, the perfect serve now is you're going to take your knife and fork and lift a portion of that up.
These puppies.
Okay.
Oh, and look at the cheese, people.
Oh, this
look
is
at the
melting.
cheese. It's just oozing
this is,
out of
This
there.
is amazing. Look at the, oh, love it. Love it, love it. It's nice and crisp. I'm going to just stick the stove off. There's enough heat here to finish.
All right, we're cooking.
Would you like, let me just put, there's so many instruments for today. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to give you, this is lovely guacamole. Yes. I'm going to give you some lovely cream cheese. And as one does, we get cheeky with a little bit of lime.
Ooh, yeah, perfect serve. Here it is, guys. And for you that just
beauty?
tuned in, shame on you, but don't worry, we've got a recipe recap coming at you. And while I tuck into this absolute magic, you can go check it out right now.
Oh,
Enjoy.
this is beautiful. The melt. Oh,
Yes, please.
lovely. Oh, look.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your feel-good breakfast show. This is Expresso. It's S3, and I can tell you that this has been a big weekend. If you love Chelsea, they have done it again. They won the UEFA Champions League in 2012, and this weekend won their second trophy after beating English Premier League champions Manchester City 1-0. Our rugby coach and video creator extraordinaire, Coach Son Kosi, is back, and I can tell you, as a big Chelsea fan, this is the reason why the man decided to wear his best TV shirt. Before we get there, Coach, it's time to jump onto some of the PSL action this past weekend. Now, we've seen Swallows hold the PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns. Just a quick scan at that, just to take a look at that game. I'm sure it was a result that Swallows loved. Sundowns maybe taking the foot off the pedal a bit after being crowned champions.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Sundowns haven't practiced 1 second since they've been crowned champions. I mean, they've been obviously in celebration mode. That's all they've been doing for the last couple of days. Yeah. I think they've cancelled all their practices now. It's just basically parties at practice now. That's all they have. So they're in celebration mode, and it's I mean, great result for Swallows. I mean, obviously consolidates a place in the top 8. I think there's still. I mean, obviously some teams are fighting for relegation, but unfortunately now in the PSL now it's pretty much teams playing for match fees now, with Sundowns already winning it.
Yeah, you can tell that the practices have been parties as well. If you look at some of the players over there, there was actually a moment, a corner was available to Sundowns, and all of a sudden there was one of them actually started dancing, and I was like, okay, that's obviously part of the new routine of celebration. But let's move over to TS Galaxy. They beating Orlando Pirates 1-0. TS Galaxy, they've been quite a package this season, I must just say, the way they've been conducting their business, and a result like that for them over Pirates, that must be a goodie just to wrap up the season.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that just shows how far they've come this season. TS Galaxy, you know, obviously, it's a fantastic win for them, and obviously for them as the season comes to an end, they're just showing how far they've come this season. And obviously, it's tough for Pirates. I mean, they can hardly buy a win in the last couple of years. I mean, the last couple of games. I mean, yesterday, last week they got thrashed in the African Champions League, and then now to lose to TS Galaxy. So yeah, I mean, tough times for Pirates, but I'm not going to pretend like I'm sad that they're struggling. It's a great win for TS Galaxy. I had my TS Galaxy on shirt on, so yeah, we're very happy for them.
So, Coach, PSL done and dusted. We love it local, but let's go abroad. And I think this is the big reason as to why you wore your best shirt today. Chelsea, the UEFA Champions League title is theirs. 2012 was the last time they saw it. I saw Drogba running around the field and Lampard, but now it's a new season, 2021. Thomas Tuchel's men taking it. Now, watching the match, a lot of people, and I mean, please tell me if you feel the same way, they said it was a boring Champions League final. What are your comments on that?
Well, first of all, Carl, I would have worn my Chelsea shirt today, but unfortunately, after having worn it since Saturday, I had to actually put it in the wash today. So that was a bit frustrating. So I went for the next blue shirt in my cupboard. And listen, the people that call it boring are the people that weren't involved in it. I mean, ask any Chelsea fan if it's boring. There's nothing well done. And yeah, that touched me as well. So yeah, so it's a fantastic day. We're still a part of London. So yeah, excited. Very happy for Chelsea.
I want to know from you, since you're a big Chelsea supporter, what do you think Frank Lampard is feeling right now, despite his love for the Blues, knowing that he started this project and Tuchel took it to this particular level? How must that feel for Lampard at the moment?
Well, it's tough, especially like I said, like he's the one that started the project. He's the one that introduced the youth. Yeah. And obviously you got the likes of Mason Mount and Kai Havertz in. So it's. I mean, Tuchel sort of built from the foundation he's laid on. So if I was Lampard, I mean, I saw Thiago Silva actually mentioned it in his Instagram, saying how far Lampard had taken them. So it was great to see that. So if I was Lampard, obviously you feel a little bit sad, but I think hopefully you can put that away and obviously focus on the joy. I think
great sort of the scene is set now. You've got Chelsea who look like they're peaking. They could probably make maybe 1 or 2 more signings, possibly up front actually, and maybe push Timo Werner to the wing. I would say it would be fantastic to see from their side. You've got Liverpool coming into their own. You've got United looking like a threat. You've got Spurs who may be just getting a new coach. Could be Zidane, we never know. You've got so many different sort of permutations for the new season. But Chelsea taking the Premier League, from your side as a Chelsea fan, I want to ask the authority, possible?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think, like you said, the Premier League has been opened up now. I mean, obviously, Man City will come back stronger. Man United are building something there, and obviously, it's great that you mentioned Spurs. I know Graham's not here, so you don't have to mention Spurs. I mean, they're there for match fees, and obviously, Yeah, I think Chelsea got a chance. I think we're building something. I think in 2012 was the end of an era with Lampard and Terry and them. That was the day going away present final in the Champions League. Where this one, I think it's the start of something special. I mean, our team is so young at the moment, so I think if we had the correct signings, get a striker or two, Harry Kane would look beautiful in blue, so it would be nice to addition to the side if we can get him. And then we can build from here, and hopefully we can try and push Man City in the league and try to get a league title again.
Cool, Claire. Thank you so much for joining us for your analysis on all of the action over this past weekend. Congratulations once again. As a Chelsea fan, I think you should buy a new shirt. Just letting you know. But have a great one. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Thanks, Carl.
And that's
Thanks,
our
Carl.
weekend sports
Appreciate
review
it.
wrapped up with that one. Over to a sport of a different kind. Let's jump on our bike.
Oh, and you definitely want to jump in because just this past weekend, it was the inaugural Park Lines BMX tournament, which saw some of the country's best, and I'm talking about pros and amateur BMX riders, battle it out for the top honors this past weekend.
Yeah, now one of the most creative and innovative BMX riders in South Africa is announced this morning. His name's Murray Lobser. He's topped the heats and finished in second place on the weekend. And he's joining us in the studio to tell us more about this up-and-coming BMX event. So let's give a big round of applause to Murray, man, brother. Welcome to the studio. How you doing? Yeah, man. Woo. Dude, congratulations, firstly, man. That was an awesome result this weekend. How are you feeling?
I'm stoked, It was good. And yeah, it's a good time out there. Happy to be here.
No, it's good to have you, man. It's awesome for us to chat about something which I believe is a first for South Africa. Talking about this Park Lines tournament that happened this weekend. Can you tell Mzansi a little bit more about what went down, what it's about, and why it's, I guess, so important to SA?
I mean, it was amazing, honestly, because it's the first event we've had in so long, obviously with COVID.
Yeah.
Like over a year. And it was so nice just to see all the boys from Durban, from Cape Town, from Jersey, just all getting together again and riding. I mean, that was actually the highlight of the event.
Yeah.
And obviously getting to compete with each other was also fun. And yeah, I'm looking forward to when that comes back more full swing, because this is the first event of this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really sick.
So you've been itching for a long time, so this has been a good opportunity to just let that creativity out, yeah?
Yeah, it's so fun.
I can just imagine everyone just showing off all the new things and tricks they've learned. And I mean, you're one of the most innovative BMX street riders that South Africa currently has. And I think there's a fearlessness to it that many of us aren't brave enough to even attempt to do. But where did your love for BMX start and how did you get into it?
So I actually went camping with my family when I was about 15 years old. And on that farm that we camped at, there were two sons that had BMX bikes and they had built these jumps. And I saw the one guy do a backflip, and I was like, I have to do that. Like, there's no ways I can't try that. And then for my 16th birthday, my parents bought me a BMX. I had been riding mountain bikes before, but then I got a BMX, and then I just kind of rode it every day. I'd get my schoolwork done, and then just go ride the whole day. And actually not much has changed since then. kind of just ride bikes all day.
And look at where it's taken you now, man, chasing that passion. It's so awesome to see. But let's talk about something crazy, because I believe BMX is slowly becoming a part of the Olympics, potentially.
Yeah.
Is it something that's big in SA? Is it a potential for South Africa to make the Olympics, or is the culture kind of different? What's happening out in Mzansi?
So, yes, BMX is in the Olympics, and this year would be the first year that it's officially in. The thing is, from my viewpoint, I ride street, and that's you compete in park inside the Olympics.
Okay.
I do try ride everything, but I'm not pushing my competitive level in park. And I feel South Africans, we have a few riders that could potentially actually go for it. But they do need to get out to all the qualifying events firstly, which is the feast competitions all around the globe. And then we also need the training facilities, which Park Lines Park is actually the first park, it's called the compound, where they could probably train, because they've built a foam pit recently and they have a setup that's somewhat translatable to the parks they'll be riding in the Olympics. But as a whole, South Africa still needs more parks that we can train on. If you compare it to the States or the US, they have amazing facilities to train on.
So we still need to catch up. I mean, this was just the inaugural, the first one to be hosted in South Africa. What are some of the other competitions or events that you'll be taking part in?
Well, yeah, Parklands just happened now, but I'll be going to Estonia if COVID allows in August, and I'll be competing there against guys from all over the world, and that's a street event. But yeah, this year already in South Africa, we had to cancel a bunch of events because of COVID. But next year they should all be back, and that'll be cool.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Crossing fingers
very
indeed. And of course, we don't have to say goodbye to you yet, because we've got a cool event happening right here live on our show. You're going to be showing off some of your skills. You definitely look the part, man. You look cool. You look like you're so calm and collected. So I'm so interested to see how you put your skills to the test on the bike. And we're going to get a first-hand chance to see that, guys. So don't go anywhere. Our professional BMX rider, Murray Lobser, will be showing us some of these famous tricks right after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. We're live right here in S3 opening up, and it's your Expresso show. Now, from doing quarter pipes and box jumps over the weekend at the Park Lions BMX tournament in Johannesburg to showing us a few of his famous tricks right here at your feel-good breakfast show. Please welcome back professional BMX rider Murray Lobser in the building. Yeah, yeah! Oh, man, you're on the floor, of course. We're putting you to the test. What is going to go down right now? I have no clue what to expect, man.
Yeah.
What's happening?
We'll see what we can do.
All right, so just stage is yours. You don't need me for anything?
I'll try.
All right, let's take it away, man.
Something different.
Oh, snap, man. So, like, what is that even called?
That was called a bar spin.
Snap. And then a 360?
Yeah, I can walk you through it. It's basically, you just got to, like, throw the bar.
Okay.
And then you catch with your hand underneath, and then you grab it again. But you got to be really careful. You have to, like, pinch the seat at the same time with your legs. Otherwise, the bike just falls away and it goes, and you really fall hard.
All right, now maybe just do it, because walking me through it's not helping at all. It just makes me think like it's even harder, man. But it looks incredible. Wow.
Yeah,
what else you got for us, bro?
We can see it's a little bit of space here.
Oh, you're going to get a run up.
A switch bar spin's the other way, so it's actually even harder, because it's like trying to throw a tennis ball with your left hand.
With your weaker side.
It's actually really hard. So, like, it looks the same, but it's much harder.
I mean, to be honest, you made it look even easier, dude. That was insane. Oh.
And then, yeah, there's some tricks that's a bit early that I won't be trying this morning.
Oh, man, you're an absolute legend, dude. It's so cool to see it, and it's clearly the reason why you're getting that podium spot at that competition this weekend, and I can't thank you enough for showing us some of this. You've definitely inspired some of the kids out of Zanzi. I think everybody's going to go get a BMX this Monday, riding on the streets. But, Mario, man, congratulations for the weekend. Thank you, and wishing you nothing but the best for the rest of the year.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. You want to give it a go, or?
Oh, I don't know. Should I try? Okay.
Yeah, give it a roll.
Teach me. What do I do?
Maybe try a bunny hop. Just
bunny hop. Okay.
I'm sure you've ridden a bike.
Just jump. Just go for it. Okay.
Yeah, pedal and jump. There's no brakes though, so watch out.
1, 2, 3. Yeah! Wow! All right, man, I'm coming for your spot, brother. While I play around with Murray, you guys can check out the latest with the news. We'll see you soon. Yep.
That's fire.
Oh, very exciting things happening on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Thank you for that, Ryle and Murray. Now it's time for us to quickly look at your national headlines. The Department of Basic Education has announced that grade R to 7 learners will return to normal school attendance from July 26, provided that the risk-adjusted differentiated strategy remains implemented. This includes special needs schools. Basic Education Minister Angie Moteka said the directions are an outcome of research and extensive consultation with stakeholders in the basic education sector. Moreover, 18 schools in the Northern Cape remain closed as the province battles high COVID-19 infections. 264 positive cases were recorded at schools, 180 learners, 62 educators and 22 support staff. And meanwhile, President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced that SA's COVID-19 restrictions will be strengthened as the country moves to an adjusted level 2 lockdown from today. He said the country has seen an average of 3,745 daily new infections over the last week. The restrictions under the adjusted level 2 lockdown includes an evening curfew between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. Non-essential establishments such as restaurants and bars must close at 10 p.m. to allow staff to travel before curfew. All gatherings are limited to 100 people indoors and 250 people outdoors. And moving to news abroad, Vietnam has detected a COVID variant that appears to be a combination of the Indian and UK variants and can spread quickly by air. Vietnam's health minister Tan Long described the latest mutation on Saturday as very dangerous. It was discovered after running tests on newly detected patients. Long said the new hybrid variant was more transmissible than previously known versions, especially in the air. He added that the genetic code of the virus could be made available soon. And President Emmanuel Macron has warned that France would withdraw its troops from Mali if political instability there leads to greater Islamist radicalization. France could not support countries where there was no dramatic legitimacy or transition. This follows a second coup in 9 months in Mali. Coup leader Colonel Assimi Goïta was named transitional president by the Constitutional Court on Friday after declaring himself the interim leader. French troops have been supporting forces in Mali, Mauritania, Niger, Burkina Faso, as well as Chad against militants in the Sahel region since 2013. And next, some news of a TV newsreader's huge gaffe. Now, it's being referred to as the gaffe of the year. An Argentine TV newsreader, Novilla, confused the William Shakespeare with the first man to receive a Pfizer jab in the UK. The newsreader announced, and I quote, "One of the most important writers in the English language, for me the master, has died." In fact, it was his namesake, William Bull Shakespeare, the 81-year-old, who had passed away in a hospital in England last week. The real William Shakespeare died in 1616. However, this was news to the Argentine newsreader, who told her audience on Thursday, and I quote, "We've got news that has stunned all of us given the greatness of this man. We're talking about William Shakespeare and his death. We'll let you know how it happened." That's the end of the quote. The truth of the matter was that Bull Shakespeare, a former Rolls-Royce worker, received his first jab in December, becoming the first man and the second person to receive the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine in the UK. This undoubtedly must have put a smile on the face of arguably the world's greatest dramatist, playwright and poet's face, wherever he may be. Well, on that note, that's where we leave your morning headlines for now. Let's take another look at your sport.
Fear gets overwhelmed. Fearless overcomes. With all women dread disease cover from First for Women.
To sporting action, and the fourth round of the Women's Premier Division belonged to the Blue Bulls women, Border Ladies and Western Province, who recorded wins in the competition. The Bulls moved up from 6th to 3rd place after an emphatic 43-17 win over the EP Queens in Gqeberha, and defending champions Western Province claimed a 10-0 victory over the Sharks women, and Border Ladies beat Worland Dames 35-14. Border Ladies and Viapia remain unbeaten in the competition. Now, staying with rugby, the Toyota Invitational team recorded a memorable 43-35 victory over the Cheetahs in an entertaining exhibition match in Bloemfontein. That was on Saturday. The Invitational side was coached by two former Springbok players, Ricardo Loubser and Don Himan, and the team that was made up of players from the Stormers, Sharks, Lions, Bulls and Eastern Province scored 6 tries, 5 conversions and a penalty goal to the Cheetahs' 5 converted tries. The University of Pretoria, meanwhile, recorded a 44-35 victory over defending champion Stellenbosch University to reach the Varsity Cup final. UP Tuks will face the University of Cape Town's Ikeys, who have played Northwest University's Eagles 54-36 on Friday. The Varsity Cup final between the table-topping UCT Ikeys and NWU Eagles will take place at 7 p.m. this evening. And on to some football action. The Premier Soccer League continued this weekend with newly crowned champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Swallows FC playing out to a surprising goalless draw at the Dobsonville Stadium on Saturday. Yesterday, TS Galaxy claimed a hard-fought 1-0 win over Orlando Pirates at the Bombela Stadium, and following the loss, the Buccaneers remain 4th on the log with Galaxy in 8th and Swallows remaining in 5th place. And no reason to have a blue Monday if you support Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea beat Pep Guardiola's Man City 1-0 at the Estadio do Dragão in Porto in the UEFA Champions League. That's for the second time. It was the Blues' most expensive signing, Kai Havertz, who scored the winner in the 42nd minute of the match. Chelsea last won the Champions League title back in 2012. That's a wrap of your sports for now. Let's take a look at the weather.
Thank you, Wasty, and a big thank you to you for taking the time to share your sunrise photos with us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We love getting a glimpse into the way you start your day. So for 7 o'clock, we're going to take a look at this gorgeous photo that was shared by Kubashni from Chatsworth, showing off this multicolored skyline. If you're in Chatsworth today, expect a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius with times of sun and rain expected for today. And keeping things in KZN, Mark Nelson from Umkomaas shared this glorious golden sunrise overlooking the area. Umkomaas can expect some times of sun and clouds with a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. And we are definitely so fortunate to experience such breathtaking sunrises here in South Africa, and we just love seeing the photos you capture. So please continue to share your sunrise photos with us. You can do so on the Expresso Facebook page, and we just enjoy seeing how you start your day. And while we love the experience, a sunrise from your parts of South Africa, we also have some international viewers tuning in on both YouTube and the Africa channel in the US. This morning, we report on the weather of the city of San Francisco in California. It is known as a cultural, commercial, and financial center of Northern California. The Golden Gate Bridge is one of the iconic landmarks people have come to associate with the city. It is a long 1.6-kilometer wide bridge stretching across the San Francisco Bay. And today, if you are in San Fran, expect a mostly sunny day ahead, reaching a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. And now for the latest news in our Space Watch. It is the first that China's cargo spacecraft carrying supplies, equipment and propellant docked with the space station's key module Tianhe yesterday. The Tianzhou 2, or the Heavenly Vessel, autonomously rendezvoused and docked with Tianhe. With a designed life of more than 1 year, Tianzhou 2 carried supplies for future astronauts, including food for the crew of the Zhenhao 12, which will be launched next month for a 3-month stay on the station, as well as 2 tons of propellant. Tianzhou 2 is the second in a series of missions needed to complete China's first self-developed space station in 2022 and follows the launch of Tianhe, the first module, in late April. The 3-module space station will rival the International Space Station, which is backed by countries including the United States, Russia and Japan. China was barred from participating in the International Space Station by the United States. And that's where we leave your space news for now. Let's look at your temperatures in South Africa. A partly cloudy day can be expected in Polokwane with a low of 8 and a high of 17. Mbombela 11 reaching a high of 19. Partly cloudy in Pretoria today, 8 reaching a high of 19. Johannesburg 7 with a high of 17. Partly cloudy in Mahikeng reaching a high of 23. Sunny conditions in Klerksdorp, 3 is your low, 22 your high. Kimberley, expect a cool 2 as a low, 18 as a high. Bloemfontein, a cold start of -1 with a high of 16. If you're in Richards Bay, expect a low of 15, a high of 21. Pietermaritzburg 9 reaching a high of 20. Durban 15, 22. Mthatha 7 with a high of 17. East London 12 reaching a high of 21. Cradock 2 with a high of 16. Partly cloudy conditions in Gqeberha, a low of 11, a high of 19. George 10 reaching a high of 17. Rainy conditions for Cape Town today with a high of 17. Worcester 4 reaching a high of 16. Sutherland, a cool day with only 2 as a low and 9 as a high. And sunny but cool in Uppington, a low of 3 and a high of 19 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Thanks, Zoe. So, what do you meme? It's the last chance.
What do you
that
mean?
I
don't know what you mean.
The last chance to enter this game. So this could be us but competition. Today is the final day. We ask you to comment with your funniest caption to stand a chance to win a 1,000 Rand game store voucher.
Yeah, and Mzansi, we have to give it to you. You have definitely been providing us with much needed comedic relief this past week with your absolutely hilarious comments. And Carl can't even hold it in.
No,
so.
I can't. You know why?
Yeah?
That picture. Right, I'm sorry to let you know, our social media team.
Yeah?
I was actually...
I know, we were doing an album cover.
Yes, we were doing an album cover and then somebody posted me over. I just want to say thank you, Mikey.
Are you an Autobot?
Yeah,
Are you a Transformer?
I could probably be a Transformer. They call me Ace Cuss.
Right, let's check out what the crew has to say. Not the crew, Mzansi, and we're starting off with Amita Ruthie Paul, who says, this could be us, but you're not game, whilst I'm always game. Maybe I will beat you at your own game. That is if you still got some game left in you. Me shopping at game. Now, that is priceless. Hashtag got game, hashtag game price, and hashtag Expresso show. Absolutely nailed it.
Yeah, lots of games in there. I like that. Product placement. Okay, right. Soraya said this, right? This could be us, but I love my French since I have a condition that makes me eat when I can't sleep. It's called insomnia. Hashtag game price beat. Hashtag game.
I love that one. Nom. Let's see what Milan Theron Samuel has to say now. This could be us, but you froze me out. Oh, I see what you did there.
I know what you did there because I actually was the one frozen out because that was me. That was the fridge. Anyway, let's go with the Nani Komano. This could be us heading to game store, but knowing that I can't beat the game price, I have decided to accept the freezing defeat. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, to add that in the end there. Yeah.
I absolutely love this, Mzansi. Thank you so much. Now, the prize beat life and stand a chance to win a 1,000 Rand game voucher. That's a 1,000 Rand game in-store voucher. I mean,
amazing.
What more could you want? Now, this could be us, but of course, the meme competition is still going on. And in the comments on Expresso, Facebook, Twitter, and all the rest, you can head over and give us your best comment, and you could possibly be winning. And don't forget to use the hashtag GotGame, and of course, the other hashtag is Game Price Beat. And the T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. And the competition closes tonight at midnight. So what are you doing? Get entering. Hurry up.
All right, and also don't forget, you can compare prices with Games Price Beat Promise, which offers to match the price of and give a 10% refund on the difference in price on any identical item you may find cheaper elsewhere. So if you find it cheaper at a competitor within 21 days of your purchase, you're guaranteed a price beat on that item, believe it or not.
Yeah, and remember, the stores are opening hours are Monday to Friday from 9 to 6, Saturday from 9 to 5, and Sunday and public holidays from 9 to 4. That's every reason, every moment, and every opportunity to get going. Of course, Game has every answer that you need, and if you want even more, get in on this competition. It's going to be a beautiful one.
Welcome back. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We are in the beauty room because it's time for me to really just add a little bit of a pizzazz to my look. I am wearing a loungewear, nice little knit. I've paired it with this easy sweater that I'm wearing. But there's one thing I love about winter fashion, and that is layers, layers, and layers. And I'm a coats and knee-high type of boot girl. But today I wanted to elevate my look and really just show you some fun ways to really add some layers.
All right.
So I'm going to start off with this incredible knit. I'm going to add this to my look just to add that layers. Now, this is something you can leave open. This is something you can tie.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm keeping to the white theme, so everything nice and white.
You know what I'm a sucker for, and apart from layers in winter, which I think we both absolutely love, because you can do so much with it. You can play with your shapes, you can play with the mood. I like the subtleties when it comes to small little buttons, small little accents that tie pieces together. And I like how softly those buttons are just kind of accentuating this top. It's not too pronounced, it's not a massive statement, but it looks good.
But there's a trick to it. So now when I add this Sherpa faux fur biker jacket
let's see what you can
to my look, we're going to tuck the cardigan in so that it does, you know, it gives you some shape around the head.
All right.
There we go. So let me just get into this. There we go.
Nice.
And then we simply
so you wouldn't just leave it like that? That's not the vibe. You actually got a little add-on.
You can leave it like this, but I obviously want to show some hips, so I'm just going to tuck the little cardi in and then wear it like that.
Okay, I see
there
what
we
you
go.
did. It's a little tip, and it actually looks really cool. It looks like it's made together, like this outfit was actually created for this specific look, and just a quick little tip like that. Nice stuff, so.
Thank you so much. And of course, all of the pieces that we are wearing on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, they are from Woolworths, so you can shop it safely in-store, online, or through the Woolies app.
You know, somebody with a jacket like yours, Zoe, I feel like that's cozy. And it's somebody that I want to share a bowl of pasta with. And I think that's what I want to make for you right now. So I brought in the most amazing thing. I know, Jenny Morris, don't get jealous. But you know, it's meat-free Monday. And it's set to be quick and easy. I know you're jealous. And naturally delicious. Say hello to this Be Well spaghetti vegetables with a recco tomato sauce, a classic Italian dish with meat-free twist. And Jenny Morris is here to make sure that we got all the goodness packed inside of us. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rumble. It's so nice to see you. Don't be jealous. It's fine.
Good morning.
You are still the one.
I better be the one. And let me tell you something about you. I know your love for me is all about cupboard.
It is indeed.
Cupboard love.
That's right. It's always like that. But I'm smelling onions.
Oh my goodness, I hate you. You've just agreed with me, cheeky boy.
But I am very, very excited to watch you do this, because you know what, vegetarian, it's massive at the moment.
I know.
And a lot of people, in the beginning, it was like veg is boring, but now so many retailers are bringing out their veg options, and I love the concept of meat-free Monday because it expands your cuisine horizons.
Exactly. You can actually have a meat-free one day if you miss Monday. You know, you never know, of course. So I've got some beautiful.
What is that? That's a herb. It's something like that. It looks like oregano.
We have oregano.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
And then that one over there.
Basil, lovely dried basil.
Dried basil.
A curry powder here, which is going to give it some nice depth.
Thank you so much. Because now what you've done is you went from sort of India and Italia meet each other halfway there. Indo-Italian.
Exactly. Just wait, darling.
I'm ready for you.
Yeah, there's definitely lots of India here. And when I put this coconut milk, don't think that it's not India, because India in Kerala, you know, the coconut coast,
yes,
they use a lot of coconut.
Okay.
I've got some garlic and I've got some onion powder, which is delicious.
I love those.
I love them as well.
They are so beautiful. And then, of course...
I'm going to add a little bit more B-well. I don't like to swamp. Do you want to...
You're using a blend there, aren't you?
It is, yeah.
Okay, so that's I believe that's got 20% luxurious olive oil in there. And of course, it's got that Cancer Smart Choice seal, and supported with the Heart and Stroke Foundation as well.
And there's no genetically modified canola or anything in there. Can you smell this?
I'm smelling that so beautifully.
Isn't it gorgeous?
And I'm forgetting that we are live on TV right now. I feel like I'm at your home, Jenny.
Well, darling.
Right?
You and I are always at home together.
Yes, we are.
Now, I want you to just not take the holder. Can you tell me whether that's salt or sugar?
Oh, no problem. I'm just going to make it a pinch there.
It's sugar. But I thought I would maybe give you a bit of salt. It's sugar, my little sugar.
Oh, my word.
Isn't
Honestly,
it gorgeous?
But I love it when you give me sugar. That's like the best thing.
Hello, sweetheart. Just to sweeten you up. Now, listen, we're going to... I've already got this going, and you told Zoe you were making pasta, and you would love to have a bowl of pasta with her.
If you wear a coat It's just, when they say coat, don't you think it's amazing how the word coat is cold in Afrikaans, and then also a coat is what you wear when you are cold. I think languages are so great, and that's why we blend well, like the Be Well Canola.
Exactly. I love her coat, actually.
Yes.
But I have to wear black because it gives me a better silhouette.
I love the way you think here. So already we have, so let me just kind of recap that for a second. I'm seeing you've thrown in that onions went down first, then the garlic, and then all of your aromatics went in as well. That all I see tomato paste went in. Coconut milk is that cream or milk?
This is coconut milk.
Coconut milk is going in now, and that's just going to cause a lot of love. And I think that if you, at this point...
This is a marriage.
It is a marriage. It is. It's a very functional marriage. It's got all of the great things attached to it as well. All of the love, the luxury, as it should. I'm ready.
I'm giving you mummy love.
Okay.
Now, this is a marriage made in heaven.
And if you want to be very, very cheeky, I'm sure you want to do some Parmesan over the top, right?
You can do anything you want over the top. And if you want to be vegan, obviously there are lots of vegan options. When it comes to cheese, would you like a little bit of basil?
Yes.
Tear it.
I love it. You see, that's the thing. People,
give me one.
People don't tear their basil. I usually do that.
You've got to hug your basil as well.
That's what I do. I do a little bit of this.
Yes, because you want to
And then you want to get that... Oh, my goodness. I remember my old friend Basil in the moment. There.
Really, I will never forget Basil.
Basil was your best. Okay.
No, he wasn't my best. I mean, Basil is my best.
Oh, sorry. That's it. That's correct. I'm ready for this. Now, can I also ask you, if you don't want to go really carby on this, can you do some zucchini noodles?
Oh, absolutely, darling. A little bit of zucchini never hurt anybody.
That's right. Woo.
Good.
Okay, I'm ready. So I'm a twirler.
I love it. I'm a twerker. He's a twirler.
That's right.
I like to see you twerk while you twirl. Can you twerk and twirl?
I could obviously twerk it. It's easy.
You can't multitask. There's my boy. He's twerking while he twirls.
Sorry. Okay. I'm trying to eat this now, and you're distracting me, as you always do.
You did that to me. Remember, I burnt the food.
You burnt the food, but it's fine. I think it's great. If you want to get this recipe, go to expressoshow.com. There you'll find the recipe. Unfortunately, you won't find Jenny Morris there. But what you will find is this amazing... I'm tasting.
It's good.
Oh, yes, please.
Oh, veggie balls.
Yes, please. That's great. I'm going to twirl. Twirling the pasta. I want you to twirl. So get the twirl, give it a whirl. Go to expressoshow.com, use the ingredients, substitute the pasta if you want to do some zucchini noodles there, make it healthier. But do enjoy and just be well. Yeah.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thanks for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on S3. Let's open up to some uplifting music. Undefeated is an authentic song which carries a powerful message to humanity. It was originally performed by Caroline Boruli, a friend of the show, and has since been reproduced to feature singers from the Mali Kelly Vocal Academy and the East Rand Youth Choir. They're amazing. And we connect with Caroline now and find out what this collaboration with producer Neil Engel has been all about. Guys, good morning. Thanks so much for making the time.
Hey.
Morning.
How's it going?
Everybody.
So
Thanks for having us.
You both look so amazing because let's be honest, you know, the past year has been an immense challenge for everyone. And really, this song speaks about finding your strength in dark times. Tell us all about it. How did the project come about?
The song was written by the founder of Rada, JP Nabrege, and Howie Combrink, who's the owner of the studio that we're in today. And it was just there to uplift, people and just speak about people overcoming their their struggles and so on. And I think when they released it for the first time, I think it was 2016. And I think that what we went through last year I think the feeling was that we needed to do a song with Rado that would be sort of inspirational and just maybe a bigger version of than the one that we did initially with Caroline, So we pulled in all the extra voices like the Marley Kelly Vocal Academy and the Eastern End Youth Choir, and we kind of revisited the production. And it was just there to really inspire, and then, and we tried to shoot a video that also just kind of told some stories, and Caroline gave us a really great performance there, And
Caroline, it's true, because you really did bring the magic. The thing is, we can all resonate with the song, It's since been reproduced to feature singers, like you mentioned, from the Mali Kelly Vocal Academy. They're so talented. The East End Youth Choir, they bring so much heart to it. What was it like updating the song and getting other artists on board, Caroline?
Well, I can tell you this. The first time we did the song in 2016, it was such a powerful message for the time that it was. And this was obviously pre-COVID. And then we went through COVID, and we all had our struggles and our stripes, and we all had, our challenges and things that we had to overcome, essentially, and just as a whole. And so when things started changing for the better, with the country, with South, with everything that people could do for themselves on the daily, it only made sense to add other elements to the song, because now it was no longer just a same type entity. It was a worldly entity, and therefore to have different aspects come in to make one thing still have the same beautiful and even more powerful message was super great. And I mean, these guys, it's a youth choir, it's fantastic vocals, professional vocals. It was big, it was beautiful. It had the same message, just louder. So it was pretty great.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. And I'm going to say...
It's a vibe.
And I'm going to say this again. We're all coming out stronger after a tough season, a tough year for everybody. Caroline, maybe I'll start with you for this one again. What have you learned? What new perspective or skills have you gained from this entire experience?
You mean besides the baking?
Yes, the banana bread, girl.
This entire, I really don't want to call it a pandemic anymore, because I feel like it's just been a good challenge for self. Has just taught me to really be stronger in more ways than one. I didn't know that I had certain characteristics about myself. I mean, I've always known that I'm strong, but I didn't know to what extent. I've always known that I'm big, but I didn't know to what extent. I always knew that I could persevere. I didn't know to what extent. You know what I mean? So things like that, it's taught me to really reach and dig deep into myself and find the things that I never ever thought were there or never really paid attention to, that ultimately helped me survive and overcome. And just like the song says, be undefeated by everything that could possibly shut me down within a split second. Do you know what I mean? I could have buckled down and said, okay, well, we're struggling. That's it. Okay. But I didn't. And to witness that, those things about me make me super proud. I mean, I'm proud of myself. I have learned some skills along the way as well. I mean, right now, what I'm doing in terms of work, I'm sitting on a set doing continuity presenting, so and supervising. So there's also that. I learned things about myself, so I can add up that onto my CV on top of being a singer, guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, there you go.
Update that bio, girl. Update it.
Well, this is beautiful. This is really beautiful, and I think that the one thing we can all take out of this experience is that it's one that's been so full of soul and so full of heart. And as a producer, Neil, I imagine that being a part of this collaboration must mean a lot to you, being able to bring all of those pieces together so strong in their own regard. What's that been like for you?
I think last year when the whole industry kind of shut down, because from middle March 2020, the whole music industry just went completely quiet, I mean, there were some things going on and there were releases here and there, but you know, there was no studio sessions, there were no gigs, there were, you know, everyone was home for a couple of months. And when I started doing this, the Undefeated production, I think it was the first time towards the end of last year where I felt like a little bit of normal life again, you know? It was just such a kind of like getting back to what we were, you know, what we were doing before. And I think that, you know, at the end of the day, I had to kind of diversify during lockdown and do different things from home. And, you know, I set up some studio gear at home and did a lot of remote recordings with a lot of different artists like Ralph Gum and a bunch of other people. But at the end of the day, you know, being able to pull off a big production like this during a time when, because we were still a little bit locked down at the time, you know, and to get everyone in and then to kind of record a choir with social distancing and all this kind of stuff. There were a lot of challenges, you know, and the magic that you feel in the recording, the kind of, you know, all the feels and all the kind of sincerity in the whole, you know, in the music and in the voices, you know, because we had all come out of that period of just like uncertainty and, you know, we all kind of put our heart and soul into the whole thing, you know. And it was just so nice. I think it was in September last year when we got together after this period of everyone being home and not really doing what we normally do. Just got together and we were like, you know, let's make something special, you know. And it really was an awesome experience, you know. And I think it comes across, you know, in the music.
Yeah.
You certainly made the impossible possible, and you've inspired so many of us. What a vibe. But again, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us and making us smile this morning and make us feel good this morning, because that's what you guys brought this morning. So thank you, Neil. Thank you, Caroline, so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
I love it. We are undefeated. We've all been through such a tough season, but we're still here, guys. We're able to live out our lives with determination and purpose. And that's the message. I love it.
Feel the rhythm, feel my soul, live with intent, live to be whole, take one step forward, each day I survive, strive to find my own perfection, strive to live my life. I will never give up, I will not lose this fight, take back my power and take back my life. I'm undefeated, I walk with power, so undefeated, you're never gonna break me down. I'm undefeated, I rise and shine, undefeated, you're never gonna break me down. I look to you and I see a broken soul. Don't worry now, ooh, it's time to let me go. I will heal myself, my spirit will soar. I'm undefeated, you can't hide anymore. I will never give up, and I will not lose this fight. Take back my power and take back my life. I'm undefeated.
again. Never will I cry, live with passion. Embrace my life. I see purpose, oh, and I see life. My spirit will never die.
A message to humanity. You are to own your light, own your soul, own your divinity, own your power, and go forward in the acknowledgement that we are all one.
Yeah. Wow. I feel elevated. I feel lifted after that,
Yeah,
you know?
man, and that was like the perfect recipe for my Monday morning. I feel like I've been fueled and ready to just kickstart the rest of this day, man. Yes.
And speaking of fuel, we still have Jenny Morris in studio. We're going to be whipping up a vichyssoise soup that you do not want to miss out on.
Yum.
Merci, très bien.
Delicious.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, you beautiful souls. You're right here on Expresso. We're opening up with S3, and it's the self-published author that we're talking about this morning. Her name is Rachel Ray Makutu, and she found her passion for writing from a young age, having completed her first manuscript at just the age of 15 years old. Now, after pursuing a few different avenues, her passion for writing was reignited, and she published her first book at the age of only 24 years old. How crazy is that?
I know it's incredible. I feel like this intro should go on forever. That's how amazing she is. So she hit the shelves and the universities with her second title, The Journey to Self, a self-help book that is being loved by readers the world over. She's joining us this morning alongside Glenn Tike from the Makutu Legacy Foundation to share all about those facts. And you know what? Listen to all of that. That amazing intro. You deserve that, both of you, by the way. Welcome.
Thank you. We're glad to be here. We're happy to be here.
It's good having souls like this on a Monday that are doing such good work. You're inspiring, you're uplifting, and you're sharing your energy for the right reasons. So thank you for that, and thank you for waking up so early.
You
know what they say, early birds get the worm.
Yes, the bookworm, in this case.
So, Rachel, I like what you do.
Thank you. I'm trying.
I appreciate that. So, Rachel, let's get into it. You've done something incredible, and it's not the first time we're actually chatting to you. I believe it was 2018 that you actually published and released one of your first books called The Marriage Contradiction, which it was an absolute success. It got international recognition, I believe. Even the likes of Tyler Perry was talking about it. That's huge. Like, you can smile bigger than that, because that's insane. I mean, tell me about that journey. What was it like after your first published book, having such incredible sort of positive everything, like so much goodness coming from that?
It's been crazy. Yeah. It's been amazing. It's been overwhelming. It's been a journey of learning and just enjoying. And it's just like, till this day, I look back and I still can't believe it. Like, it's just been amazing. Like, I believe I was born to write. It is my purpose. I was born to tell stories.
Wow. I can tell.
I love that.
You were. I mean, I'm looking at you now, and you got to... I feel like you have inspiration for the third book right now. But let me slow it down. I'm just sitting in... Is it already on there? Oh, okay, wait, that's a scoop. There's a scoop later. Don't worry. That's right. This is important to do research. But the second book. Okay, now, you know when somebody says, been there, done that? Got the T-shirt. That's you, Glenn.
The Journey
to Self.
Yes.
I think it's a beautiful concept. You know, we're all trying to discover ourselves. We're trying to find new things, meet new people, experience new things. Tell me a bit more about that second title.
The Journey to Self is a self-development tool. I'm hoping that people can use this as a tool to develop themselves and to develop in workplaces, to be able to maintain, to be able to develop and maintain good relationships with those around them. And self-love, man, like it's all about self-love. You as a person loving yourself to be able to know how to love the next person. So the journey to self, it's a personal journey.
And I think it's a journey that is so important right now. If ever there was a time that's more pertinent, we're living in chaos. We're getting thrown around with information that's confusing us. It's misleading. We're lacking this direction. And I think what a beautiful time to take that journey back and discover ourselves. I think it's so perfect. And I think for what you're doing as well, being from the Maputo Foundation, I believe, I'm just finding out now about the incredible work that you're doing and the legacy that's going on there. Now, you guys are both currently involved in something called Free to Read, I believe. And I mean, Glenn, maybe I can chat to you about this, because just chatting to you earlier, the energy and the passion that you exude.
Just want to hear more.
Yeah, I want to hear more. So talk to me, man. Tell me about it.
All right, so basically, the Maputo Legacy Foundation was founded by this lovely lady, Ms. Rachel, in 2018, and we've been doing quite a few projects up until now. This is our third. We're excited about how we get to give back to communities and uplift them through just philanthropic work. And yeah, basically what Free to Read is about is that we identified a problem, like you said. We're living in a turbulent time and people are going through tumultuous emotions and, you know, it's really crazy. We're being called the sad generation and that just doesn't make sense to me. And what the Journey to Self will do for people, I believe, is empower them to overcome and become the generation that gets things done. I really hope that more people visit us on our website at www.makutelegacyfoundation.com.org actually, and learn more about our projects, the Free to Read campaign, and just how you can support us in trying to uplift the youth of South Africa and empower them through personal development.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that's like a passion couch. I just realized that now.
It's crazy. And this passion is like an armor call. I mean, literally when they're walking in, you're standing next to them, I can feel this energy. I can feel that you've definitely done more than just read the words on this page. You've embodied it, and you're allowing an opportunity to share that with the rest of South Africa, which I absolutely love. If you, Mzansi, can get just a little bit of this in your day, just a smidge, just a little sip, I promise you, you will be slaying your entire week. It's called The Journey to Self-Love, and it's from Rachel. I mean, I'm so excited to get stuck into this because I want some of this.
You getting a copy? You getting a copy?
Where is it? All the kids in South Africa are getting a copy. If we manage to secure enough donations, guys. We're running a crowdfunding campaign on Kakabadi. Please look for us there and hit us up on our socials at Rachel and Gucciano, and we can let you know more on how to support us.
That is phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. The Journey to Self begins here. And also, you know what, it's important for us to also open ourselves up to get the community to assist, and we're going to do that. So that website, once again, loud and proud and as eloquently as you did it earlier.
www.makutelegacyfoundation.org.
And it's Makutu Legacy on Instagram.
Makutu Legacy Project.
Yeah, on Instagram.
Hurry up, hurry up. What are you waiting for? Get involved. Go find out some more and get going.
It's under your seat.
What? Well, listen, our local avocado season, it is in full swing, and did you know that tomorrow is officially the start of World Avocado Month? That's more, you know, just another excuse for us to just add some more avo to all of our family meals. And we love a thick vichyssoise soup, but with those huge dollops of cream in the regular recipes, it really can pile on those unnecessary kilos this winter. So this is an avo vichyssoise soup that we're about to make using avos as our substitutes for the cream, and the one and only lady to talk us through this recipe is the one and only Jenny Morris.
Well, hello, sweetie pie.
I'm very excited to make this, especially that we're using our Avo vichyssoise soup.
Absolutely, and I love the creaminess. You know, Avo is amazing. It's just the most incredible product because you can have it sweet or savory, and it is a wonderful substitute for cream, especially if you have like an allergy to lactose or whatever. It just bulks everything up.
And there is that nice creaminess to the texture. I mean, for me, the blessing is being able to get Avos throughout the year in South Africa.
But winter is my best time because they are abundant, they are less expensive, and they are at their best.
They are at their best. You know, I have such fond memories of my childhood where it was so cold in winter.
Yes.
Then you would make toast and put the Avo over it.
Yes.
A little bit of spices.
Nice, delicious.
Oh, that was my favorite.
I'm going to get the soup going, and then we're going to blitz one. But I want to. I love an Avo because I keep telling people it's not a vegetable; it's a fruit. It's a berry.
It is a fruit because it's got a seed.
Absolutely.
That was
now
what I was
have a
told.
look here, Zoes. What I've got in here, I've got onions and leeks. The leek makes it the vichyssoise, and the potato, and we've got salt and pepper. We're going to put some fresh thyme. I've got garlic, which is going to give it a nice little bit of depth. And we were just talking about all those dollops of cream and how it can lay on the kilos. A lot of people think Avos are fattening. They aren't.
It's the healthy fat. It's the good fat.
Yes, absolutely good. And also, I mean, I've got 8 talking points about Avos, or all the good things why Avos are good for you. They're good for your hair and your nails, except for your eyes. Good for your... yes, for your waist. They're very, very good for your waist. And look, I can see you've been eating Avos, girl.
I love my Avos. I love my Avos. So looking at these ones here, are these the Haas?
Darling, a Haas is a rabbit. This is a Haas.
A Haas. H-A-S-S. Haas.
Yes, this is a Haas, and they are delicious.
I mean, this one's just
look
perfect.
at it. And you're going to scoop that perfect one out to help make our soup. This is going to simmer away.
So I can scoop it in
yes,
here?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to scoop it into that. And there it goes.
There we
look
go.
At that perfection.
Putting it in there.
Yes. And
Mom always told me if you want to get the pop out,
that,
just do that.
This is a lovely creamy texture. I know your favorite are the smooth, green-skinned ones.
Yes, those are my personal favorite, but these are also perfect.
They're gorgeous. And you know, there's one called a Pinkerton, and there's just so many different beautiful varieties of Avo. So you can have your favorite. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to judge you.
No, we do not judge at all. So I'm going to blitz this up for us.
Nice and tight.
There we go.
There we go.
And then we've got our liquids, and then
just blitz. Look at that.
Look at that.
Love it, love it.
I don't know what it is about a soup that I always find so intimidating. But this one is such a quick and easy recipe.
And it's
I'm
nice
just going to quickly
thick.
blitz it again.
It's really, really hearty.
Yeah.
Would you like a little bit more of this lovely warm stock?
It's actually good. I just wanted to give it a little bit of a shake. There we go.
Oh, look at you. So what I'm doing here is I've used Avo oil to lightly saute these onions. And the aromas coming off here are just killing me.
There we go.
That's your spoon. This is my spoon.
That is my spoon. I'm going to take it. Is that smooth enough for you?
Darling, that is just so perfect for me.
Okay. Should I?
But let's put it in the bowl and then we can scrape.
There we go. Let's do that.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Warm, creamy soup.
And you could serve some little garlic croutons on there, another splash of Avo oil on there if you wanted to, a splash of lemon.
That is creamy and smooth.
Some feta cheese on top of that.
I don't know why.
Bacon.
Oh, I don't know why I'm so intimidated by making a soup.
It shouldn't be, because it's all about the base. Oh.
It's all about that base.
Okay, no double dipping?
No double dipping. This is my Avo spoon that I'm using.
Oh, my goodness.
Going for a big spoon.
Vichyssoise will never be the same again. Add an Avo, darlings. Add an Avo to everything.
This is incredible. Jenny, thank you so much for showing us how to make this delicious vichyssoise recipe. If you would love to get your hands on this delicious soup, we do have the recipe available at expressoshow.com. And dark and green-skinned avocados. They are currently on the supermarket shelves everywhere right now. So load your trolley and allow your inner chef unrestricted. And then, of course, it also is such a privilege to have Jenny Morris in the kitchen. And when it comes to cooking with Avos, it is also so nice to add that to our recipes. But for further information and Avo recipes, why don't you visit www.avocado.co.za, like I Love Avocados SA.co.za on Facebook, and follow them at I Love Avo SA on Instagram.
and Avo, nurtured in South Africa.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3, and I'm excited to introduce you to somebody by the name of James Pringle. And now, let's go back in the day. Somebody who bought an old guitar from his sister at the age of 9 and then wrote his first song a year later. At the age of 13, he started leading worship. Not much has changed for this individual. And today, the singer-songwriter is a worship pastor and a leader in the Shofar Church and band. And this morning, we get to know a bit more about the worship leader alongside pianist Jason before they take on the floor and, of course, give us the best Gospel Monday we've ever had in our entire lives. Welcome, James. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks, Carl.
Did I get everything right?
You did.
To the history, did I?
Yeah, it's quite impressive.
Thank you. I all memorized it, all of it. That's not written out for me. But just welcome. It's so great. I love Gospel Mondays. I love the sound checks that happened earlier. But James, let's start with you. Young age to start, praise and worship. I mean, that is something that is a calling, no doubt.
Yeah.
Was it that for you?
Yeah, I remember being, like you say, when I took my sister's guitar and almost immediately started writing songs. I think something that was inside of me, I just needed to express in songs. And I remember as a teenager spending just hours in my room just kind of worshiping God. So having amazing encounters with God. And so I didn't expect to go like full-time into music or ministry. I did a science degree that it wasn't at all on my radar, but God kind of just, I want to say, hijacked me and just took me in this direction. And now, here I am.
Yeah, you're a science degree, you say?
Yeah.
That's crazy. However, if you think about it, there was always chemistry with regard to you and your
My wife
future.
and I had chemistry together, literally.
Really?
Second year organic chemistry.
Organic? Well, there were so many chemistry moments that could happen there. Jason, you of course are going to be supporting. We've seen you here before, so clearly you love the TV.
It's not a lie.
So supporting a guy like this, what's it like for you to be part of this project?
I think James is one of the few people that I'd like to consider my mentors, and one of the things that makes it so easy to support James is that he genuinely loves everything that he does, and not just does he love it for the sake of loving it, not just does he love it because it's nice to play music, but he loves it because he loves God. And I think as someone who's been mentored into leadership under him and is a leader now, he's imparted something of that love of God. And it's very interesting that the EP that he released was called Holy Love, I think, for me personally. So that's essentially what it is. I think you've seen around, we love one another, we joke, we tease, but ultimately we love one another and we love God because he loved us first, which is a testimony.
So, good segue there, the EP Holy Love. James, Holy Love, this EP, everything that you put into it. Give me a little bit of a journey as to how it came about.
So I've been part of Shofar Band. I lead the Shofar Band, of which Jason is a part, and I've done that for many years, since 2010. But never done my own solo kind of project, which I've always wanted to do. And then 2019 felt like this is the year I started working on it, and then released it beginning 2020, just before lockdown. So it was interesting timing, but just such a rewarding project to do something a little bit less congregational, because I love writing songs that the church can sing. That's kind of my main focus, but it's also fun to do something that's just a little bit different and expresses a different part of my worship.
It's really beautiful. We can't wait to hear a couple of those tracks. Before we get into our poll results, which you're going to be very interested to know which one of these tracks came out tops, you also did a bit of a YouTube thing, worship at home, and that's been getting a lot of traction. And I think given the times we're in, it's good to know somebody like you is even leading worship from the comfort of our own homes, because we have to stay safe. Tell me a bit more about this project of yours.
Yeah, that started to kind of serve our congregation, because everybody moving online, and I just realized I've got these friendships. Jason and I have known each other 5 years or so, but I've got friendships stretching back 15 years that I've been making music with people, and they're living all over the world now, and that's the amazing thing, technology. Like, I would record my part, they would record their part, drums, bass, electrics, everything, and we would kind of combine it together into these worship at home sets, which are on YouTube. But just again, despite everything that's going on around the world, everybody being so separated, and the temptation for, or what isolation means for people, I think it means so much more when we actually realize we're all in this together, and we need one another. We need, as the body of Christ, we need the other body of Christ. It's not just about me and Jesus, but it's about us and Jesus. So that's what the heart of the project.
And ultimately, sorry if I could just add there.
Go for it.
It's not just that we need one another, we need God, and it's I think one of the amazing testimonies of worship at home is that in our worshiping at separate times, in separate spaces, in different rooms all over the world, I think the consistency of God and who He is, and how He's a Father, and everything that means can avail itself to all of us, and we can join in with thousands of years of God being God and God being our Father in moments where we worship together at home.
I think that's kind of key that you mentioned that, because we're not alone if we are together, and we have that same common experience. It's good to know that we can go to one place like God and share that, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. Another thing you're going to share with us is music this morning, and we have a poll that went up. Let's take a look at the results. The poll, we had so many great songs up there, but we had Holy Love, that's their name of the EP. We had Zion there at 31%, but the tops, I Believe. Why do you think I Believe came out tops?
So that song, it actually wasn't part of my EP. I wrote it I started it in the hard lockdown in March last year. My family and I were self-isolating in a tiny little space because we'd been exposed, and in that tiny space with 2 kids running around, like, it was crazy, but I felt God saying, you need to write a song, like, for this time and for what we're going through. Because the reality is, like, everybody's been shaken, and that's kind of the heart of the song, is everybody's experienced this shaking of what can I believe and what can I trust, and what is true, what is something that I can hold on to. And I think for me that kind of sums up the heart of the song is, God, I know the condition of my heart, I know that there's so much fear and everything, but still I choose to believe. So I think it's kind of a powerful message for where we are right now.
It is indeed, and that message will come through strong in your performance a little later on Expresso. Thank you, James. Thank you, Jason, for joining us on our couch of dreams. You'll get to see these 2 guys, as well as some other incredible band members in Gospel Monday that's coming up very, very soon. For now, I believe it's time for news.
Thank you, boys. Starting with your national headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa said in an address to the nation last night that since evidence shows that older people are at far greater risk of severe COVID-19 illness and death, the elderly have been prioritized for the second phase of vaccination. Some 480,000 people have subsequently received the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Meanwhile, a Durban man who had been battling COVID-19 complications since December has been discharged after a 127-day hospital stay. eThekwini Hospital and Heart Centre said Mohammed Ahmed had fully recovered. And the Department of Basic Education has announced that grade R to 7 learners will return to normal school attendance from July 26, provided that the risk-adjusted differentiated strategy remains implemented. And this includes special needs schools. Basic Education Minister Angie Mocheka said the directions are an outcome of research and extensive consultation with stakeholders in the basic education sector. Moreover, 18 schools in the Northern Cape remain closed as the province battles high COVID-19 infections. 264 positive cases were recorded at schools, 180 learners, 62 educators, and 22 support staff. Moving to news abroad, more than 10,000 people yesterday attended an anti-US rally in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, to to denounce President Joe Biden's policy on the conflict in the country's Tigray region. Biden had called for a ceasefire in the conflict, now in its 7th month. The Ethiopian government has of late come under pressure over conflict in Tigray, where thousands, mostly civilians, have been killed and at least 2 million people have been displaced. Human rights groups have leveled accusations against both sides of crimes against civilians, including mass killings and rape. And Vietnam has detected a COVID variant that appears to be a combination of the Indian and UK variants and can spread quickly by air. Vietnam's Health Minister Tan Long described the latest mutation on Saturday as very dangerous. It was discovered after running tests on newly detected patients. Long said the new hybrid variant was more transmissible than previously known versions, especially in the air. He added that the genetic code of the virus would be made available soon. And now for some news of a marriage that was kept very, very secret. Britain this past weekend saw another royal wedding. Well, not exactly, but it was the UK's Prime Minister, 56-year-old Boris Johnson, who very secretly married his 33-year-old fiancée, Carrie Simons, at Westminster Cathedral in London. Only 30 guests and their 1-year-old son were in attendance. The marriage was so secret that some of the top aides only found out about it afterwards. A staff member confirmed the event, saying, and I quote, "Yes, it was the Prime Minister. His bride looked beautiful. She had a long dress with no veil." And then the staff member said Johnson looked really smart in a very dapper suit. When Simons came down the aisle, Johnson didn't take his eyes off her. The staff member said that they read their vows and then shared a kiss, adding, and I quote, "They looked besotted." Johnson is twice divorced and has 4 children with his ex-wife, Maria Wheeler, and is also reported to have 2 other children he fathered outside of his marriages. Johnson is the first British PM to marry while in office in almost 200 years. Lord Liverpool was the last to do so when he married Mary Chester in 1822. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Here's a final look at your sport with Carl.
Thanks a lot, Zoe. And the 4th round of the Women's Premier Division belonged to the Blue Bulls women, Border Ladies and Western Province, who recorded wins in the competition. The Bulls moved up from 6th to 3rd place after an emphatic 43-17 win over the EP Queens in Gqeberha. Defending champions, Western Province claimed a 10-0 victory over the Sharks women, and Border Ladies beat Boland Dames 35-14. Border Ladies and Viapia remain unbeaten in the competition. The Toyota Invitational team recorded a memorable 43-35 victory over the Cheetahs in an entertaining exhibition match in Bloemfontein on Saturday. The invitational side was coached by 2 former Springbok players, Ricardo Loupsha and Dan Human, and the team that was made up of players from the Stormers, Sharks, Lions, Bulls and Eastern Province scored 6 tries, 5 conversions and a penalty goal to the Cheetahs' 5 converted tries. Now, the University of Pretoria, meanwhile, recorded a 44-35 victory over defending champion Stellenbosch University to reach the Varsity Cup final. UP Tuks will face the University of Cape Town's Ikeys, who outplayed Northwest University's Eagles 54-36 on Friday. The Varsity Cup final between the table-topping UCT Ikeys and NWU Eagles will take place at 7 p.m. this evening. On to football. Premier Soccer League action continued this weekend with newly crowned champions Mamelodi Sundowns and Swallows FC playing out to a goalless draw at the Dobsonville Stadium on Saturday. Yesterday, TS Galaxy claimed a hard-fought 1-0 win over Orlando Pirates at the Bombela Stadium, and following the loss, the Buccaneers remained 4th on the log, with Galaxy in 8th and Swallows remained in 5th place. And the big one this weekend, Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea beat Pep Guardiola's Manchester City 1-0 at the Estadio do Dragão in Porto to win the UEFA Champions League for the 2nd time. It was the Blues' most expensive signing, Kai Havertz, who scored the winner in the 42nd minute of the match. Chelsea won the Champions League title in 2012, so well done for them. And if you are a Chelsea fan, it's actually good to have Monday blues. That's a wrap of your sport on Expresso. Over to the weather. Here's Zoe.
Thanks, Wasty, and let's see your blue skies this morning. Thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time to share your sunrise views with us. This morning, we took a look at Daniel Mogale, who shared this beautiful view of the sun behind the clouds, casting its rays across the early morning sky. Geraldine Flatwell from Fishhook shared this image from last week as the sun was rising over the ocean. At 7 a.m., we shared this gorgeous photo that was shared by Kubashni from Chatsworth, showing off this multicolored skyline. And staying in KZN, Mark Nelson from Umkomaas shared this glorious golden sunrise overlooking the area. Please do continue to share your sunrise photos with us on the Expresso Facebook page. We love seeing how you start your day. And while we enjoy experiencing a sunrise from all parts of South Africa, we do also have some international viewers that are tuning in through both YouTube and the Africa channel in the US. So this morning, we report on the weather from Naples, Florida. Naples is largely a tourism-based city. Due to its proximity to the Everglades, Naples is also popular among eco-tourists. Naples experiences a tropical savanna climate. The beach on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico is more than 16 kilometers long and known for its pristine white sand. Today, if you are in Naples, you can expect periods of clouds and sunshine with a thunderstorm in the afternoon. A warm day can also be expected with a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. And now some news for you. A serious threat is lurking beneath a lake near the city of Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Scientists say underground magma has been flowing towards Lake Kivu since the deadly eruption of the nearby Mount Nyiragongo volcano last week. An eruption from under the lake could trigger the release of a lethal, suffocating cloud of gas. Known as a limnic eruption, this event poses a rare but potentially catastrophic risk to Goma's residents. Fearing this and other possible volcanic activity, tens of thousands of people have been told to evacuate Goma, leaving the city eerily deserted. The area was also hit by 61 earthquakes within 24 hours, and that was on Saturday. The Goma Volcano Observatory said the volcano's crater is continuing to collapse, which contributed to the earthquakes and caused massive ash emissions. Since last Saturday's explosion, which killed at least 31 people, safety concerns have grown among local communities as officials are warning of a second potential eruption. Now in South Africa, let's take one final look at your temperatures for this morning. If you're in Polokwane, a partly cloudy day ahead with a low of 18, a high of 17. Mbombela, 11 with a high of 19. Pretoria, 8, 19. Johannesburg, 7, 17. Partly cloudy in Mahikeng, 1 with a high of 23. Klerksdorp 3 reaching a high of 22. A sunny day ahead for Kimberley with a high of 18. Bloemfontein starting off with a cool -1 reaching a high of 16. Richards Bay 15, 21. Pietermaritzburg 9 reaching a high of 20. Some partly cloudy conditions and rain can be expected in Durban with a high of 22. If you're in Mthatha today, a low of 4 and a high of 17 is expected. East London 12, 21. Cradock 2 with a high of 16. Gqeberha 11 reaching a high of 19. If you're in George today, some cloud cover with a low of 10, a high of 17. Cape Town rain is expected for today with a high of 17. Worcester 4 reaching a high of 16. Sutherland 2 with a high of 9 for today. And if you're in Uppington, a sunny but cool day ahead with a low of 3 and a high of 19 degrees Celsius. That's a wrap on your weather. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo, please share it with us on the Expresso Facebook page.
Good day ahead, I must just say, a beautiful day, and I think it's important to take stock. If you are one of those workaholics, we wanted to ask you, how do you unwind and take a break from the hustle and bustle of work? And there are some great comments coming through on our Facebook page. Thanks for commenting, by the way.
Yeah,
a second read.
Lilo Tomo is first up saying, Espresso morning show, a nice strong cup of coffee and getting the latest updates from the show in the morning. Or if I'm home all day, I catch up on Afternoon Express. Hashtag lay back.
I like that.
Man with a plan. I like
so
that.
we like that fanaticism for us. I like it. Yes, I'm feeling more relaxed now. Over to the next one. We got Alicia saying, watching Expresso morning show, SABC3. Every morning always helps me unwind and kickstarts my mornings before work. Let me slow it down to a relaxing pace. Weekends, it's usually time out at the dam, doing some fishing. It's quiet and peaceful. Really a great stress reliever. 100.
Yes, it is indeed. Carl, I've got to ask you, my man.
Yes.
How many hours do you actually work a week? Or a day, even?
I may work a bit more than normal. Let's just say from 6 a.m. till 7 p.m. plus.
Well, I think you're definitely going to want to stick around.
And on Saturdays.
You're going to want to stick around the show because we've got some help for you. People just like you that are working too hard. If you're a workaholic, don't go anywhere. We've got some advice for you. Check it out.
The ultimate accessory, the latest shiny thing. Mesmerized, trying to keep up, but never getting ahead in an endless cycle of spending. In this world of constant upgrades, do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money seriously?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're in the final hour, and speaking of hours, I think this morning we have been focusing on the amount of hours we work, and if you're thinking the hours you are working are busy killing you, it's probably because they are. A recent study by the World Health Organization has found that there are serious health risks in people that are working more than 30, in fact 55 hours a week in their paid jobs, and that's also leading to premature death. Joining us via video call to unpack this very scary study is author and motivational speaker Devin Moonsamy. Good morning, Devin.
Very good morning to you and to the viewing.
Thank you.
So, Devin, can I just ask you, how many hours do you work a week? Just for record's sake?
About 5 a week. I'm really taking it slow after this horrific stuff.
So it's like 1 hour a day.
That's perfect. We just wanted to know.
As much as I'm putting in.
Oh, well, David, you know what were some of the surprising statistics that were found by the World Health Organization? Because 55 hours or more, and that's slowly killing us, is quite scary.
Yeah, very scary indeed. And the study, we must know, is based on data collected from about 200 countries. So the estimates are that over about 700,000 people died in 2016 from heart disease and stroke. And now we know heart disease and stroke are linked to things like stress and long working hours. And we have to note as well that this is a 29% increase since 2019. So the situation is dire, and it means that working too long is a major contributor to early death across the globe, as per the World Health Organization.
So even though our Basic Conditions of Employment Act in South Africa states that our work week shouldn't exceed 45 hours, it does seem that employees are working past the required time. What could be contributing to this, in your opinion?
Now, there are several reasons for this. Online working has become the norm in many industries. South Africa is no stranger to working online. As you know, so many changes have happened radically in the country of late. And remember, most organizations are going lean. So what's happened is some organizations cut back on staff, and then there are people who are left within their organizations, and then they're working arguably extra hard to accommodate the losses of the jobs within that company. Some people also work overtime in an effort to earn more money. So people want more money, they want to be able to generate more revenue for the household, so they'll put in overtime. And then I also realized that many people have a second income stream, so a side hustle. So some people are doing side hustles. And finally, online platforms have become so much more accessible in a post-COVID corporate landscape. I mean, everybody's Zooming. People get interrupted during family dinners and parties because somebody needs to take a work call. So yeah, it's definitely exceeding the basic conditions of employment, 45-hour.
And I think a lot of us are working more than the 45-hour mark. But I know a lot of people are also working from home. That has escalated the situation in terms of the amount of hours that they are working. But what can someone do if they feel like their home has turned into a second office?
Now, I realize that in some cases, people live in smaller setups or smaller home environments, buildings, complexes, and so forth. It can be very difficult to have a distinction in terms of a workspace, but I'm going to encourage South Africans to try and get a space in the house where that's reserved specifically for your working little work setup, as you would have in the office. So if you set this up, you'll feel a little bit more in the work zone, and then you'll also detach easier. Get a schedule, stick to it. Once you get that schedule and you're able to stick to it, you start to fall more into a routine. Also, use some time to run some personal errands and take regular breaks and do some activities outside of the workspace and the work zone. And I would say eat proper lunch and exercise again. And remember, there's no job that is worth the risk of heart disease, and strokes. Your job can easily replace you, but your family, I'm not so sure if they're going to be able to replace you. Your partner, I'm not so sure if that's going to be able to happen in your family. So I would really encourage South Africans to really apply their mind and shift paradigms and mindsets here around how it is that we're actually working from home.
Devin, you're a motivational person. I can tell that from you, from your aura and your inspiration. So let's just say there is somebody at the moment and they are feeling severely overwhelmed. Despite the tips you've just given, they just can't get out of this rut they're in. Do you have any sort of advice for them to just pull themselves out of that so they can get things sorted and start structuring their lives a little bit better?
I would say that self-talk is fundamentally important. And, we often have conversations with ourselves. And that's how our perceptions are formed. Yeah. So when we have these conversations with ourselves around what my day looks like, how am I feeling emotionally? And remember, some people can work themselves up into a state of anxiety and high levels of stress if the self-talk is not directed in an area or an avenue that suggests it's going to be a positive outcome to the day. So being in complete control starts with shifting mindset. How we shift mindset is to be able to talk to the self and to be able to address key levels of anxiety that sit on the inside. And once that happens, you'll find you'll remove distractions. You'll start to focus nicely. You'll be a bit more realistic with deadlines. So getting to a zone and a space where I'm completely calm, where I'm completely in control. So if you don't accept your situation, you're never going to be in control and you'll never influence anyone. So it starts with a level of acceptance, be completely in control then, and then influence the situation and the outcome of your day.
Well, Devin, thank you so much for sharing these incredible tips with us today. Yeah. It definitely was an eye-opener regarding the statistics that's come out. And a big thank you to Devin for really sharing and shedding some light on those recently released findings. Now, if you are working long and difficult hours and need advice on how to manage your stress and avoid burnout, then we've just got the relationship expert, Asha Dulap, in studio for you. She's going to be on her way to help you out.
Some incredible information coming through from Devin over there. Of course, we've got Asha still in the building. And to add to all of this, we've got something exciting that you can start and join us with right now. So for at least 30 minutes of physical exercise a day is a perfect recommendation for everybody. Now, that's a daily basis. And according to the World Health Organization, too, they're ticking that box and saying that it's essential. But when life gets too busy, of course, it can often be difficult to fit a workout into your daily routine, right? And I'm sure we've all been in those chaos moments where we just can't find the time. But this is why we will be taking you through a few simple yet effective exercises that can be done right in the comfort of your very home, right behind the desk as you're working. So join us for this Monday motivational workout, and I thought, why not bring in the man that works the most hours in the world? Carl Wasty in the building! Yeah. Come take some time off of work and join me for once.
Okay, by the way, I don't think that I'm going to go into that whole stroke heart disease thing if you love your job.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Because then you are, so I'm constantly loving things for 55 hours a week, sitting in it. Okay, cool. So
work-life
I'm ready
balance,
for you.
all right. So Carl, let me ask you this, okay? You're obviously working behind the desk quite a bit.
Yes.
You're prone to being in positions which require you to be focused at a screen, on the mic. How often do you find yourself slumping down and you start arching your back and you eventually chilling in the desk, like kind of like at the end of the day, and you realize it's 7 o'clock and you're like, whoa, what happened to my posture?
Well, fortunately, I am kind of like a posture general.
Okay.
So when I can see somebody slouching, I always kind of touch their back a bit.
Oh, are you that guy?
Remember when you were a short guy?
Yeah.
You can't still take away more height by slouching. You know what I'm saying?
So you're always maximizing.
I'm always trying to maximize the best way I can.
I like that.
But I will tell you that I think what I do always need is core.
100%.
Core is so important. So how do I do that here at a desk?
That's exactly what we're going to be talking about now.
Okay.
So Carl, there's a few things that are important, and it's not just the core.
All right.
One thing I want to get into is the bad things that I want all of you Mzansi to stay away from. So especially when we're at the desk, you don't want to have a tight trap, which is kind of causing your shoulders to be close to your neck. You don't want to be supporting yourself with just your hands on the table, and you don't want to be hunched over.
Yes.
So like you said, you want to have a good strong core. So step number one, you want to have your legs on the floor.
Okay, I'm going to move my chair for this.
Yeah, so let's bring our chairs
step away from
So this is the good
desk.
work
Okay.
in trying to sit correctly. So we're going to have our legs at about 90 degrees, both feet on the floor, right? Why? That's important for balance. It doesn't cause any compression on either side of the spine, especially if I'm leaning one way or the other. That's going to cause misalignment. Number two, I want to draw my navel towards my spine and stay tall, right? That means I'm engaging my core, number one. Number two, it's also then allowing me to get a full breath of air in. That's already allowing every single breath to be more efficient, giving me more energy in the day and allowing more oxygen to fuel me.
Okay.
Right?
You said stay tall. What if you're short to start?
Then you stay and you never ever, yes, you go level 2 on the tall.
In case.
And then lastly, Carl, an important one is to prevent the rounding even more and to stay proud and get that superhero stance. We're going to work on our scapula, which is those little chicken wing things at the back.
Love the word scapula.
And you pretty much want to put those into your pockets. So essentially getting your scap to engage, putting in your pockets. This is how we are supposed to be sitting throughout the day. We are engaged, our shoulders are relaxed, we're nice and tall, getting an efficient breath, and this is how you're going to conquer. But to get to this point, you need to get some strength. We need to hold this for the day. To prevent us from getting into slouch, why not try a few of these exercises right here? So while you're right at your desk, on the couch, as it is, wherever you are sitting at that moment in time, I want you to start working on your core right now. So what you're going to do is essentially have your hands on the chair to start off with.
Ready.
Your legs are straight out in front of you, and now we're going to work the lower half of the legs, the hip flexor, as well as the core as well. So that's the abs. So essentially just bringing the knee all the way up to our chest and then straight back down. Nice and easy. Now we're working some of the core. We're working those hip flexors. You're feeling that? Now, if you want to feel this even more calm, I'm going to make it a little bit harder. Now, I want you to take your hands off the chair, staying nice and tall now, and I want you to try to put them behind your head. Now get your elbows to touch. Big squeeze is required there. If you guys at home, Mzansi, are trying this too, you'll see the variation now. There's a proper concentration required on the core for this one, and it's going to be one that's going to require a lot of effort and a lot of concentration. How are you feeling about that?
I can actually feel the sweat, which is actually motivating. They say sweat is hard work's lubricant.
Sweat is fat crying when it's leaving the body.
It's leaving mine at the moment. I like it. Yes.
So what we're going to do now, this is a fun one for me, and this is something that I know G and I have suffered with in the past. A lot of you guys at home will too. It starts off in the lower back, goes all the way down to the pinky. It can hit the glute. It can hit the hamstring. We're talking about the sciatic nerve.
The nerve
the nerve thing. It's a problem for everybody. If you have sciatica, this is a great one for you. So we sit all day. We're promoting bad circulation. We're not allowing the blood to flow in the glutes. That then extrapolates and goes all the way down to the legs. How do you prevent this? Let's get a good stretch and exercise at the same time. So using the chair as a reference, okay, we've got about 2 foot widths away from the chair. I'm going to now stand on one leg. So balance on your one leg, Carl, if you can, nice and simple. That's just going to get some proprioception. Now I want you to take your other leg, put it above your knee in somewhat of a figure 4 position. All right, now from here, you want to start going into a squat, pushing your hands out in front of you. We're going to stretch out that glute behind us. Try and sit back down all the way on the chair, stretching that glute out until you hit the chair.
I didn't even hit the chair. I was just lingering there. It's great.
Stand straight back up, and you'll feel that stretch in the glute, opening up. And then the same thing on the other side, once again, a nice big eccentric load. What this is doing, it's alleviating that pressure in the glute. We're sitting on this whole day. It's allowing that muscle to come back to life, allowing the blood flow, and allowing us to get back into our good postural stance and slay the day.
Well, I like that. No, great posture. I am feeling a bit of sweat on, but now I'm ready to get, open the laptop again and actually get working. So that was fantastic. It really was, my friend.
Right, and Mzansi, make sure you always include these in your day. Get stretching, get moving. Movement is key, and it's going to allow you to get more energy in the day. Hope you enjoyed it.
I thought we were going to push up on the desk.
We can if you want. Let's go.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, welcome back, you beautiful souls. You know what time it is when you see that beautiful face on your screens, and we're talking about everything relationship advice. Now, studies have shown that the modern 40-hour work week is not a model that works for all people. Now, especially now that the divide between work and home is kind of blurred, to be very honest, and many of us continue to work from home. Now, these times, although they are tough, have forced some people to hustle and work extra hard to make ends meet. Yeah?
And it has been a very trying time. So today we are asking the question, has working through the pandemic left you feeling burnt out? Well, we have clinical psychologist Asha Dulab in studio here to help us really discuss this. And we are also taking your questions and comments via our Facebook page. Please head on over to the Expresso Show Facebook page. And you can call us on 021 110 5552 and please connect with us. Asha, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Oh, you know what? I feel like I needed to take a deep breath because this is a very interesting topic. I think a lot of people pride themselves on being busy and being all over. What is it about that hustle culture that's, people are celebrating?
Well, it's definitely, we celebrate our sense of importance. We like to be validated. And I think as human beings, I think we search for what I call the A drugs, the need for approval, the need for attention, acknowledgement, acceptance, appreciation, and we will do anything to get that. And I think what has happened now is that we're actually becoming addicted to the sense of busyness. It's almost like the rise and grind instead of rise and shine.
I think I've definitely been a victim to that, to be very honest with you. You get so caught up in wanting to be busy because busy means productive. But if you take a bigger picture and step back, you might actually be doing more harm than good. And maybe this is the question I want to ask you is why even, and I can relate to this blowing a week up, working so hard, getting things done, but it comes at a cost. I'm tired, I'm injured myself, but yet I still feel this gratitude because I've achieved something. Why is that this weird norm that we have as human beings?
Well, we definitely are searching for instant gratification, but that is very short-lived. So we get into this mode of habit. And we actually do things very unconsciously. We're not consciously thinking exactly what are we doing, which aids in this addictive pattern of stress. And it's also just the language that we use, you know, oh, I'm busy, or I'm hustling, I need to do this. So we get into this mode where language is actually using us, and our whole narrative has become about being busy. Which is taking us away from our complete well-being, and we're sitting with stats from the World Health Organization showing us that we actually are approaching a pandemic of chronic illness.
Jeez.
And it's quite scary because that obviously leans towards a burnout. A lot of people who are working from home, they're finding it difficult to switch off. Or you find people that now with smartphones, you can still reply to emails after hours or over weekends. So you never really have that moment to switch off. Asha, what are some of the what's the downside of a burnout? In fact, a burnout's not good at all. So what are some of the consequences of a burnout?
Oh, there's such a vast amount of consequences, both emotionally, psychologically, and of course physically. You know, we disconnect from ourselves. We lose our sense of self-confidence. We get distracted. We engage in activities such as taking in alcohol, drugs that are more toxic to our systems. So we are finding ourselves not well, and we actually are suffering. We are suffering a lack of joy. We are suffering a lack of enjoyment and satisfaction. I think burnout is very much related to our job satisfaction. If we are enjoying something, we are not going to feel a sense of burnout or stress. But most people are engaging in activities that are not really what they are desiring or longing for. And that is where we need to start looking at ourselves and saying, what is it that we really want? Am I happy? You know, in that way, we can really just sort of look more at our well-being. Otherwise, we're going to be faced with chronic health illnesses, mental states that, you know, we are losing ourselves. We become less and less authentic.
Oh, wow. Well, Zanzi, don't go anywhere. Obviously, Ashadullah will be here, sticking around, of course, answering some of your questions. So if you have any questions, or if you felt like you've been burnt out during this pandemic, then reach us on our social media channels, or you can dial that number 021 110, well, 110 552, and come through with those questions. We will be here to answer just after this. But before we get into that, Carl's got something special for Gospel Monday. Let's find out what it is.
Now, I know if you're burnt out and you're working hard, I feel like the best remedy to that is a guy by the name of James Pringle. He's a singer, songwriter, worship pastor, and he's about to perform something very special for you on Gospel Monday. In fact, this particular thing, the song, was #1 on our poll. Now, the song, it speaks of, you know, James and his family, a time where he was self-isolating with the fam, and I think it's actually beautiful because it's a juxtaposition of, you know, faith and fear, belief and disbelief all in one, and I think it's really powerful. So stand by. If you are overworked and you're feeling a bit tired or stressed, to start your Monday on Gospel Monday here on Expresso, this is James Pringle, I Believe. Enjoy.
Have a song surrender, raising my hands, raising my voice. In the heat of worship, yet I stumble. When this fear comes whispering, I say that I trust, say that I trust, but I take precautions, locking my door, locking my heart, for the fear of losing what I most love. So I'm on my knees again. Oh, I believe, in my unbelief, I will see your goodness in the land of the living. I will trust your wisdom and I will trust your love. I believe once again. place we run to when our hearts faint and our backs are against the wall. You're calling us back, calling us in to this great surrender, denying our flesh, losing our lives to gain a kingdom that is endless, with a king who rules over all. Yeah. Oh, I believe, I held my unbelief, I will see your goodness.
Well, we love Mondays on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Not only is it Gospel Monday, but we also get to talk relationships with Asha Dullab. This morning we are asking the question, has working through the pandemic left you feeling burnt out? Now, Asha, you are here as we unpack this topic. It is one that is so necessary given what the World Health Organization has released regarding stats around the amount of time we work and the effects it has. Now, I'll put my hand up. I have suffered a burnout and it took me quite some time to recover. But on average, how long does it take for someone to get out of that burnout phase?
Well, to begin to understand burnout is a process in itself to reach burnout. So that means it'll be a process to heal as well.
Yeah.
The healing process actually relates to firstly, our burning in process. We burn in first before we burn out. And what I mean by that is that there's an inflammation in our thoughts, in our emotions, which then translates to our bodies. Toxic thoughts in our own internal dialogue about our own pressures, our own stresses, and that becomes quite an internal process that we experience on many levels. It's almost like a loss in ourselves, and that actually then manifests in the burnout symptoms as well. So it is a process, and we need to implement the strategies to actually create more capacity in ourselves as human beings to try and aid the whole dilemma of the burnout.
You know what's very interesting to me is the fact that not many people know when burnout is coming, because you are vibing. You're just going. And there are some telltale signs, but you ignore them because you have to work. Socioeconomics tells us we can't afford to skip a day. So with regard to this, I mean, what are some of the things that you could say are identifiers of when burnout is coming? And then second part of the question is, as soon as you realize that they're coming, is there actually any way to say, I need to stop or prevent it perhaps?
Yes, of course. I think we all are recognizing the signs. It's exhaustion.
Yeah.
We then also get into a place where we doubt ourselves. We lack motivation. We sort of escape from the world, from ourselves. We use alcohol, we use drugs. But the reality is that not many people are even recognizing these signs.
Yes.
We're looking past it. We're ignoring these signs. And this is what the urgency is to actually recognize the signs. We are becoming addicted to this mode of stress, of burnout, of go, of hustle.
Yeah.
And we need to pause and take a step back and say, what is our why? You know, where's our why? Why are we doing things? We need to say yes with discernment. We need to say no without guilt. We need to be able to really create capacity, our reserves, and we need to say, what is it that we need? Do we need to rest? Do we need to connect with nature more? Do we need to pay more attention to our intentions as to why and how are we doing things? It's not what we do, it's how we do it. And that's the most important thing, really looking back into ourselves and our own internal dialogue about ourselves, getting to know our entire sense of self.
I feel like you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, there's a big choir,
has been me being able to say no without feeling guilty. And something I just want to touch on is when I experienced my burnout, it was career highs, which I was supposed to celebrate, and all I could think of in that moment was, please can it end? I just want to go home. I am tired. I want to sleep. And then the next day is quite busy again. And getting out of that is not an easy process, but leading up to that point also took some time. So you need to be patient with yourself. Asha, as we say goodbye to you, what are some of the last key tips you can give someone to just really embrace doing a de-stress activity or finding joy in that?
Yes, I would say take moments, pause, and look for the awe moments in your day. Stop, even if it's that cup of coffee that you're going to enjoy, stop, take in that cup of coffee. Really become mindful of your breaks. Live more consciously. I think we're living far more as species of habit. We are just habitual human beings, and we need to stop and pause and look at what our intentions are. We can create a lifestyle of holiday in our mode of thinking. Stay more focused on what we're doing in our present moment, because that will dictate the pleasantness of our future.
I love that.
Wow, I'm so glad. I feel like she spoke to us. It's lovely. So we're going to take some stock. Thank you very much for being here, and always just a wealth of knowledge. But at the moment, what we need to do now is just take stock. Maybe sit down with a rusk and a cup of coffee. That's a good idea. Why not?
Yeah.
Such valuable information. Now to a little bit more of a serious topic. And as the official winner of the 5-second game on Friday, yes, that's me. I've earned myself the role as game host, and I've asked our dearest Zoe and Carl. We're going to go head to head. So let's bring them in here. Zoe,
Alicia, and Carl.
You just want these rusks.
Aren't we here to relax with a cup of coffee and a rusk?
No, I'm putting you guys to the test, man. Come on, we're talking about work, and you guys obviously being work colleagues as well. I thought this is the perfect opportunity to really put you guys to the paces. And
I feel like we need to follow Asha's advice. Just enjoy it and
just
enjoy
relax.
the cup.
We're going to take a break. You talk so long.
Nah, Zanzi doesn't want that. Zanzi wants to see you guys go head to head and see who's going to be the winner of this morning's dipper. And we've got the chop chip rusks on the chopping block, on the line. This is the winning prize for whoever can.
Ready.
And we've got to get into this, guys. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So you know the game already. You've lost me a few times, so you know the rules as well. All right. So
anything could happen in this one. I'm telling you now.
Zoe, ladies first. Of course, you've got 5 seconds to answer the following. Name 3 professions that require a uniform.
A uniform. A nurse, a firefighter, and a policeman.
Oh, yeah. Essential services as well. Extra point for that one. All right, Carl. The bar's been set. Can you, in the next 5 seconds, please name for me 3 professions that start with the letter P?
Psychologist, psychiatrist, and plumber.
Wow! These guys are bringing the heat here. Even fancy P words like
that's exactly, brother. That's right.
Asha Dulab's looking at you like...
I know, because it's the workaholic coming out. I'm going to take another sip.
Take a sip.
All right, so it's neck and neck at the moment. In the next 5 seconds, can you name for me 3 jobs that you have had?
Oh, waitress, advertiser, and radio presenter, TV presenter, and newspaper delivery.
Go.
Yes. 5 more minutes time.
We'll be back.
She's done all right. Carl, can you name for me 3 jobs that you wish you had?
Archaeologist, paleontologist, and psychologist.
Why did you want to be a paleontologist?
You know, when I was growing up, I collected all the dinosaur books from those magazines. And I love dinosaurs.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
A Pachycephalosaurus.
I'm a velociraptor.
Hey?
Oh, you know. Is it in the studio? Wait, we got a game to play. Stop distracting the host. Oh, name 3 dinosaur sounds.
Go for it.
I'm not sure.
Sorry, I work too much.
Is the horse dying or is it actually dinosaur? I love it. Stop it. We're playing a game here. Let's go. All right, Zoe, can you please name 3 famous CEOs? Go.
Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates.
Ooh, nice. Just in the nick of time. I'm going to just check that one. Yes, that one is correct.
Goodness.
All right.
Although the one's late, but it's okay.
No, I think you nailed it. You just got it in time. All right, Carl, name 3 reasons you love working with Zoe.
Oh, she is incredible. She's got a great personality and she smells good.
Oh, she smells good.
Social distance.
Is that even when she comes from early morning sessions?
From gym.
In the gym
Dude, I promise you.
I've been told.
Yeah, her sweat smells like roses.
No, I think he's just being polite because I rock up there after not having a shower and I'm like, please don't smell me. Thank goodness for social distancing in the studio.
Zanzi, stick around. Coming soon. Zoe's going to bottle up her scent and you guys can spray it on yourselves. All right.
You're really
no one. All right, we've got last round of this game, guys. Final round. We're running out of time here. So, Zoe. Oh, wait, we've got 2 more rounds. Right.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Zoe, name 3 excuses to skip work.
I have my period. The cat ate my homework.
The cat ate? Why did the work give you homework?
I'm giving a no for that one. Why's the cat? Why do you have homework? Why's the cat? What? I've got so many questions.
Yeah.
I can't think of excuses not to come to a job I love.
Just love your job too much.
You see? That's the first signs of workaholic.
All right, Carl, step it up now, my friend.
All right, go.
I need you to do the following for me. Name 3 ways to annoy your boss.
Oh, don't pitch up for work, ask for too much leave, and say bad stuff on radio.
You're speaking like this is not your first rodeo.
And backtrack.
All right, final round,
Big
ladies
time.
and gentlemen. It's neck and neck. I think Zoe is just one behind.
Oh, yeah, I'm one behind. I was
Yeah.
gonna say
So Zoe,
leading.
you've got to catch up now. Name 3 reasons to ask for a raise.
Ooh.
Only 3?
Because I deserve it. Because I work hard. Because I add value. Because life is tough.
You are not
Because I
getting a
need to
raise.
feed my
You need to figure out how to work your finances. You're not getting a raise. Call. Last one. We run out of time. Your name 3 spicy email responses. Go.
Right. I don't like you. I don't want to work anymore and sick.
Are you allowed to say that?
Whether you can write it, whether you can say it, I'm going to accept it, guys. I don't know who the winner is here, but I think it's definitely got to be.
Thank you.
Carl Westy in the building.
Thank you very much.
Do a dinosaur
Thank you.
sound.
Right, this is
a winning
this
song for
is,
us.
Yeah, Omar in Dinosaur.
All right, guys, so there you have it. Lots of laughs out here. And you can too make your office jealous and win yourself an Omar Ross hamper and 1,000 Rand in cash. Now, all you got to do this week, if you want to, is tell us what your favorite Omar Ross flavor is and hot drink combo. And of course, let us know why. Now, maybe it's rooibos tea and buttermilk rusk or cappuccino and choc chip rusk. I don't know. But whatever your combo is, share it with us on the competition post on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter page using that hashtag dipping time. And remember, the competition closes on Wednesday, so make sure you get on it ASAP. And all those T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. What are you waiting for? Get dipping. Wow.
Here we go.
Anytime is dipping time when it's with the ones you love.
A healthier you starts with you and your plate. Join us on a nourishing journey by entering to be on SABC2's new show, Color Your Plate with Koo. To be part of the show, buy any 3 Koo products and send Koo5 a day to 072-741-5357 on WhatsApp. Follow the steps to load a picture of your colorful meal served and stand to win prizes valued at 500,000 rands with Koo. Koo, uzotwala.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. As you can see, this amazing cast of incredible musicians are about to perform for you. But before we get there, let's give you a little bit of a scene set. And our famous British writer, C.S. Lewis, said, if we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. Worship pastor and performer James Pringle tracks a lovely song called Zion, the first single from his first solo project, and it really, really touches incredible sort of meaning and soulfulness. The song is about the hope that we have that one day we'll be in eternity with the Almighty. Here it is, James Pringle, Zion. Enjoy.
With smaller dreams that hide me, hearts that once burned bright. And the gradual fade that drift away into an endless night. come so far, your open arms have welcomed me back in. From exiled lands, my broken plans, with filthiness and sin. A robe to clothe my nakedness and show that I belong. And a ring to prove my Father's grace has given me a home. Yeah. And I'm living for so much more.
James Pringle. Look at you.
Amazing. For Gospel Monday on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Can we ask him to take one final bow? You
Yes.
guys are amazing.
Love you, James Pringle. Love you.
What a nice and busy show. I'm surprised myself and Raul, we're still
We made it. We survived
Yes.
the all white. Of course, Mzansi, thank you so much for joining us this Monday morning. We're right back at you tomorrow morning with something interesting. We're doing COVID testing for kids, I believe.
Yeah, COVID and kids, and then, of course, our karaoke.
Karaoke time.
Well, listen, have yourself a fantastic Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.
Love you. Bye.
Here's to family favorites and recipes passed from mothers to daughters. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.